Your mom and dad. Your mom and dad. Your mom and dad. Your mom and dad.
Yeah.
Well, welcome home, family.
Welcome home.
It's your mom and dad. Hello, welcome.
Good morning.
I have to tell you all something about your father, apparently. I guess it seems to appear like after your, I don't know, maybe serenade last week, you got too big for your britches, and now you think you're a rock star because you are wearing sunglasses on inside. You've got quite a vibe on you.
Don't worry about it, okay? No, your dad had a couple of adult beverages last night, and he's paying the price, okay? You know, but you know
35, paying the price.
Are we just exposing ages right now? Because last time I checked, that's not what we were doing. Yeah, you know what, guys? But here's the thing. It's kind of a gift to you because, like, I get that. But listen to my voice. I mean, like, it's sexy right now.
It's very,
you know what I mean? It's a sexy ass voice, man.
It's very grovelly.
It's great. It's scary. It's a little dangerous. You know
so
what
now
I mean?
you're wearing sunglasses on inside and talking about how sexy your voice is.
Well, the glasses are because of, you know, when you've had a couple adult beverages.
Sure.
It's very bright. You know what I mean? And the bright lights are a little too bright right now. And so, but what I'm bringing you, what I'm serving is sexual desire.
Oh my God.
You know, just, you know, Lee had mentioned that it's ASMR day today on YouTube or something.
Oh yeah, when we're recording this, something like that.
So, you know, that's why I drank last night, was to
just
be able to
provide
have this voice.
ASMR voice.
To be like, here you go. You know what I mean?
How do you feel about ASMR?
You know what? I got into a friend's car once, and it was before I knew what ASMR was. And I get in, and I hear like, and I don't think he realized it was like it's what he was listening to before he picked me up.
Right. So then it started.
So he starts the car, and then like it's back on, and it's just like, hi, today is gonna be a good day. Click, 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 click. And I was like so weirded out, you know, like just walking into someone's car. I was like, are you gonna murder me? You know what I mean? Like it had like a very creepy vibe. And then since then,
it feels very intimate.
It's very intimate.
Yeah.
And then since then, I had like tried it or listened to it and just like, what is ASMR? And I sort of like Googled it or whatever, and then like YouTube did. It, unfortunately, I feel like it would be something I would like. But
it's not for you.
My whole spine kind of tingles when they do it. Like,
but
it's
not in a
like,
good tingle way.
No, like in a unsettling way.
Like your nipples get hard, but not for positive reasons. Right. Like could cut glass, but not for.
They're hard from fear.
Really,
no. You know, it just makes me feel very like it makes me anxious.
Oh, interesting.
You know
It does
what I mean?
the opposite. How do you feel about ASMR, Lee?
I mean, I don't get the tingles, but that's why people like it, I think.
Yeah.
'Cause it's like fun or.
I get the tingles for sure. I get the little goosebumps all up and down my spine. And I definitely feel like I could get into it. Maybe I haven't found the right ASMR artist yet.
Oh,
that like really where I'm like sticking with this person.
Well, I do find it interesting that there's a lot of like guys I know who like it, and then like a lot of beautiful women who do it. You know what I mean?
It's
I'm going like,
definitely-
okay, and then like you're trying to sell it as just therapy or something, or it's just like a thing that calms your brain. But I think what really is going on is that you're like, I find this person very attractive.
Sure.
And this is an interesting way to experience them. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, but no, you know what it is? It's just a sleep technique for me. It's like,
well, sleep in what way?
I don't know. But no, I mean, like, I would be fine doing it. Like, if I was an ASMR performer.
Oh my God. You know, I mean, maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm biased because, you know, you're my guy. But I do feel like you have a very nice voice. Oh. I could see you doing ASMR. Don't let it get to your head. Don't let it get to your head.
Could you?
The whole aura right now. I don't want you to, whatever is happening. You got the hangover.
Liking this.
Mind change.
No, but I mean, it's not my thing, but maybe it's like coffee when you're a kid, you know, it's like if you just push through that initial, like, this tastes gross, why would I drink this? And then one day you wake up and you're drinking coffee.
Yeah, like why the hell would I ever love an avocado? And now I just want to cover avocado, my body in avocado.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So maybe it's an avocado situation.
Sure.
Then I just got to push through that initial kind of like, you know what? I should try it because I do feel like there is something in that, like when something makes you feel uncomfortable, don't run.
Just dive in.
You dive in.
You dive head first.
So would it be weird if you walked in and I'm just like listening to ASMR all day?
Well, there's a few layers to this because I feel like I feel like I don't know you. I feel like all of a sudden the past few days, I don't know this man anymore. I've been with you for 18 years and I now all of a sudden in the past few days, I don't know you anymore. Okay.
You're welcome. Mystery, keeping it spicy, no big deal.
I want to get into that because the hangover is just the tip of it because it's been a long time since you indulged in quite a few adult beverages.
Yeah, I don't really go that hard anymore.
No, you do not. You do not.
And but this is like, I think this is why I'm paying such a price right now.
But you're a new guy now, and I'm going to tell everybody why. I'm going to tell your family why you're a new man now and why I don't know you. In a moment.
Oh.
No, take a quick pause.
Let's do it.
Quick pause. So family, obviously we are going to be recapping Love is Blind today, episodes 4 through 6. Yes, and some of these post-pod honeymoon trips did not work out for the couples. Okay, quite tragic, did not work out. But one way they could have made it better is if they traveled in style with a base bag. Oh my God, I'm obsessed with our base weekender bags. I swear they are so chic and make packing well so easy. They make me want to travel.
Oh yeah, I mean, I just went to Nashville a few days ago, and let me tell you, I had that base weekender bag. It made all the packing and fitting so easy. No more airport packing anxiety. Base was created by actress Shay Mitchell to make sleek and affordable bags, luggage, and accessories designed to help you travel effortlessly while looking fashionable.
Base has seriously thought of everything. You need to check out their website for real. Such gorgeous pieces, and their luggage has features like 360-degree gliding wheels, a cushioned handle, built-in weight indicator, washable bags for your dirty clothes, all the interior pockets you could need to keep organized. Their luggage comes also in multiple colors and sizes, and right now, Base is offering our listeners 15% off your first purchase by visiting basetravel.com/momdad. Go to basetravel.com/momdad for 15% off your first purchase. That's BEIS travel.com/momdad. Okay, so before we get into Love is Blind recapping, and also quick reminder at the top here, make sure to tune in Friday. We have another episode dropping. Remember, our the new schedule is every other week. We will be having a Friday episode drop where we're going to be having discussions about relationships, more personal things, some guests sometimes.
Oh, it's going to be life, love, guests. It's going to be hot. It's going to be scary. It's going to be fun. It's going to be ASMR. It's going to be everything. I'm excited.
Me too. I can't wait. Yeah. So that first episode will be coming out on Friday. Yes. But Evan,
you say family, you don't know me.
I don't know you anymore. Okay, and let me tell you why. A few days ago, Evan went on a work trip. Okay. And it was great. You had a great time. Yeah. Work success. So proud of you watching from afar. Well, this man came back and he started drinking water. And I don't know if you all feel bamboozled, betrayed, all the above like I do. But this was a man who was, toting an anti-water campaign to us all for years at this point.
It was an amazing campaign. I ran successfully.
Now all of a sudden, out of nowhere, you don't even have the decency to just kind of slowly start drinking a glass of water here and there in front of me. This man steals my gallon water jug and is drinking a gallon of water a day. You go from no water to a gallon of water a day.
What's up?
So that's confusing. Also on top of it, this man all of a sudden just starts chugging water after his anti-water campaign, and then casually mentions that now he doesn't drink his coffee with the typical milk he used to. He's an oat milk guy now, which I love an oat milk, but this man's never liked oat milk. Out of nowhere, he's drinking should I be concerned? You got your sunglasses on, you got your shades on inside.
You mean other women, babe? Is that what you're nervous about? Am I cheating? Is this what it is? Yeah, because like people show weird signs,
That's what I'm saying.
Start changing in front of you. Is he dating an oat milk babe?
Yeah, is he dating? That's the thing.
Is he drinking a water drinking oat milk babe?
Are you dating somebody that's like, you know how Paul is like, I kind of date like a granola typically, and I have like their overalls are covered in paint. That's typically are you dating someone like Paul used to date? Are you dating a water drinker? Are you dating an oat milk babe? Going out, was I with you yesterday when you were drinking all these adult beverages? Yes, but also, who are you?
Who are you?
Also, who are you?
Okay, here's the thing.
Did we hit our anniversary and you're like, I'm gonna really throw her for a loop now, and like now we're going to be in a new era together.
Yeah.
She's going to have to get to know me from the ground up. I mean, I don't mind, but also, who are you? And you have some explaining to do to the family.
Here's the thing. Let me explain.
Yeah, you do.
Because I do understand that, like, just like my Z heads, I got my anti-water heads. You know what I mean?
That's the
and
thing.
I've been
It's like now that's the thing too. That's the other thing. Now he's a gamer.
Yeah,
You're gaming.
that's true.
What's happening?
Evolution. You know what I mean? It's evolution. If you are not growing, you're backsliding, and I'm growing. I'm not really growing up. It's like sideways and like down and a little up.
Okay, you're just kind of you're like amoeba.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So let me start with the water first.
Yeah.
Water is, I've led the charge for quite a while against water.
Yeah, you're anti-water.
And
sure.
you've been around, you've seen it. Like
that man's a walking drought.
Yeah.
I'm literally a
He's
walking
dry
drought.
desert.
And I think I think I became too radical.
Okay.
I think I became radicalized by my own beliefs.
You went too hard with your campaign.
Way too hard. Mm-hmm. And I just kind of realized, you know what? I think I've closed myself off to new thoughts.
Okay.
Now, was this
the new thought that is water?
on the idea of hydration? I think I'm willing to, I opened my mind of it. Now, yes, I had like a couple drinks in Nashville. I woke up the next day. I was having really bad allergies and I was like, nothing was working. So I'm like, I'm going to have to drink some water. Water seemed to kind of help a little bit. So
with
it threw
your
me
allergies,
off.
okay.
You know what I mean? So I was drinking some water. Then another thing happened. You know me, if I'm into something, I go all in.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this water machine thing we have at our house, it's just a filter. So we got rid of our old filter and we have a new filter, a water filter
It's
thing.
magnificent.
And it's like this cool water filter. I don't even know what it does, but it just like makes your water better. Anyway, I go all in.
Yeah.
So now I'm drinking gallons at a time. And here's what I'm doing. I'm finally not anti-water. I'm like open to water. So what I'm doing is I'm going a month straight of drinking a ton of water.
Oh, this is your goal.
Yeah, that's my goal. And in a month, if I wake up and I see significant improvement, I will demolish my campaign.
Oh my God. These are fighting words.
Right? I will demolish my campaign, anti-water. So now I'm going all in on the water to really, you know what I mean, see what it's about.
All right. I'm just feeling like you're really letting down a lot of people who have been really backing you for a long time in your wild beliefs of anti-water.
Like any true leader, you have to be willing to be open. You cannot be closed off.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
All right.
Secondly, oat milk. I got into a massive debate with one of my friends regarding whole milk cappuccinos and lattes versus oat milk cappuccinos and lattes. I was a hardcore whole milk latte guy, because even though it's not like good for you or whatever, I'm like, it just tastes the best. Like I'm not talking about, we had a huge debate. Again, I opened my mind and I went and got some oat milk. It was better. Okay.
I've talked to you about oat milk for a while.
This is what you get with therapy. Okay. This is Evan. This is therapy Evan. You know what I mean? In the old days, I would have lied. I would have said oat milk was
Therapy
trash,
Evan,
even
as
if
he's
it was
sitting here
better.
hungover with his sunglasses on, he's therapy Evan.
I'm therapy Evan. This is what you get with change. Right? Openness, willingness to change. So now okay, here's another example, dude. Let's backpedal into the Z world. I would have never played a video game. I had no interest, didn't care. To be honest with you, a little judgmental about the game.
You were a little
gaming scene.
judgmental about gaming.
Not like, just more like, what a waste of time. Why are you doing it? I opened myself up.
Yeah.
I'm a gamer now.
Yeah. I would like...
So I'm just saying, like, growth.
What I need you to do, to be honest, is I need you to get together with Grayston, and I need you to let him know that you've become a gamer. Because when Grayston was talking about his LARPing, you were not down with the LARPing, and I feel like you are now at a point that it is time for you to engage with the LARP.
That's a lot.
It's a lot, but I say that you need to engage with the LARP.
It's a lot to ask of me.
I know, but
I'm changing a lot. I think LARPing's too far, but I am
you
willing.
need to LARP.
You know what I'll be willing to do?
If you can Z-head LARP, if you can Zelda LARP.
Now we're getting close. We're getting warmer. We're getting warmer. I would be willing to watch, with my gear on.
Voyeur
LARP.
LARP.
And then see if I'm willing to jump in.
I wonder if that's like
It's
a
like
kink.
showing up to the orgy.
Yeah.
And being like, maybe I just want to watch.
Yeah, you're just a voyeur. You're just an onlooker.
Maybe I don't want to dive in just yet.
You're part of the sex party. You're just not involving in actual sexual activity, but you are watching those participate.
Because I'm therapy Evan and I'm willing and open and I'm judgmental of nothing.
All right. You know what?
Except a lot of things, but mostly not. So here's the thing. I'm changing, I'm growing, and what you're witnessing, what you see as who is this guy?
Yeah.
What you're really seeing is a phoenix. It's like, what is a phoenix?
There it is.
You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, let's be real. How hot is an eagle? I mean, how hot is a phoenix? I mean, that's hot. It's like, whoosh. You know what I mean? And you're like, whoa, and the wind is blowing your hair.
Hangover Evan is not a humble Evan.
Listen, it's a mixture. I'm a mixture. It's hangover plus therapy Evan. It's like a weird, amalgamation.
All right, well, I accept this.
Okay.
I accept therapy Evan.
Okay.
I just, you have to understand. All of a sudden, someone comes home and I'm like, he's drinking water, he's drinking oat milk, he's gaming.
But yes, you're right. And I'm super sorry that I didn't tell you all this before. Hey, by the way, I'm considering oat milk. By the way, I'm considering water.
What I'm telling you
I should have given you a warning,
is
and that's
that
unfair.
after watching Love is Blind and seeing how important communication is, what you should have done is you should have written a song about it and presented it to me, mind, body, and soul. That's all I'm saying.
You know what? And I'll be really honest with you. Therapy Evan hasn't gotten over judgment of that.
Okay.
I'm in full judge of that.
We'll slowly move.
The writing of the song is so dangerous and so sketchy to me that it's like, you better be sick with it, as they say. Because if you're anywhere near not dope, don't write songs. You know what I mean? We talked about this last time. It's like, if you're going to be unimpressive with something, it's not going to it's going to hurt your message. Right?
Yeah.
Imagine if I was drinking water all day and then talking about don't drink water. It doesn't make sense. You know what I mean? You have to back it up. So that was a horrible example, but I'm just saying, if I had a better example, I would use it. That's what I'm trying to say right now. Don't write songs, okay? Literally, just don't do it. We're done. Don't write songs for people to make them fall in love with you. It's fucking insane. I'm just tired of it, okay? There's no world.
What happened to therapy, Evan?
He's back. He's back. Asshole Evan's back. And it's the therapy thing lasted for a few minutes. And it's dude, I think I was pushed as far as I could with the oat milk and the water. It's my limit of acceptance is done. Don't write songs for people. Even if you're good, don't do it.
Whoa.
No, it's corny, dude.
I mean,
no offense,
I'm sorry.
It's corny delight.
If someone comes out
write a song.
is an amazing songwriter and decide, if T Swift decides to write a song for me, are you joking?
Okay, let me rephrase.
Come on.
Let me rephrase.
Please, Taylor.
It's also about the presentation. If you're going to present the song to the person, do it just jam in and then either one or two. Either record it, get it all produced, make it sound beautiful, and then be like, "Hey, I wrote this song." Okay, then you hear it.
That is everything. If someone you know me, I'm I can't do a serenade, but you write a song for me and you produce it, and then you give me my own time and space to listen to the song alone and be like, "Oh my God, these lyrics are about me. This melody is about me." I mean, absolutely overcome with lust and love and all of those things.
Right. Here's the other part of it.
Or you don't look at me when you perform. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, if you're going to play it for someone, don't say, "I wrote this about you." Be like, "Babe, I wrote a song. Can I show it to you?" And then you write the song. You play the song. And then you go, "Oh my God, what's that about?" And then you say, "It's actually about you and it's about us." It's oh, beautiful.
Okay, that's good. That's good. That's good.
"Hey, wrote a song about you. Check this." I mean, that song better be fucking a #1 hit, because for me to get over that ick level, it better be so good that I'm blinded by how good it is. So it's all about presentation for me.
I have some news that's going to blow your mind.
Okay. Well,
are you ready for this?
I'm ready.
Okay. So obviously we're talking Love is Blind. Last week we recapped episodes 1 through 3. If you didn't join us, please listen to that. Evan and I, we have already declared that what we are currently doing is we're only watching up to the episodes that we're recapping, and we're not going past that at all. Okay, so we have no idea. So even after some of my thoughts last week, now watching episodes 4 through 6, I'm like, shit, I have some serious mind changes already. So we 100%. Don't know. We don't have our spoilers. We're not as far ahead as many people as the typical person right now. So anywho, last week, we obviously talked about Zack with his serenade, and I got all these messages from people. You know how we were talking about how just unbelievably horrendous the whole acapella situation was. But then afterward, towards the end of the episode, I was like, I don't know, guys, it kind of slaps. There's something about...
Yeah, there's a hook there.
There's a hook there. Well, turns out he didn't write the song. He didn't write the song. It's Ludo. Ludo wrote the song.
Okay.
It's called Sarah's Song. And he just changed a few of the words.
To Irina's song?
And made it Irina's song. And so the internet is set ablaze. TikToks, as far as the eye can see, with him saying over and over again, I wrote a song for you. And then he goes into it.
Whoa.
Blarney Stone and all. Turns out, Blarney Stone is Ludo's deal.
Oh, it's a part of the original song.
Yeah.
Now, Blarney Stone, that feels very 1820. Was this song written in like the late 1700s?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. Because I'm getting like on the old ship we rolled in the Blarney Stone. You know what I mean? Like it's got a very like...
I don't think so. I think it was more of a recent hit.
You know what would have been hilarious? Is if he would have just taken like a Deadmau5 song or something, or like a Diplo song. And he's just like, I wrote a song for you. And he's just like... Tonight's the night. We're taking over. Tonight. I taste your body. And he's just like, and the guy's just like sitting like, what? And he's just like, you gotta get it. That's what I'd do. I'd be like, I wrote a song for you. I want to taste your ass.
Oh, God help us. Well, it was Ludo's song. It was Ludo's song. And so there's TikToks everywhere and everyone's sending me, oh my God, Zack didn't write the song.
Okay.
And it's just the repeat of him saying over and over again, I wrote a song for you. Okay. So I'm like, this just made this so much cringier.
Yeah.
And then you're starting to wonder, who is this guy? You know how much I love Zack.
Yeah.
I've already declared my love. Throughout his mistakes, I love me some Zack. I can't help it.
Right.
Then I heard that and I'm a little bit like, okay, he blatantly lied.
He blatantly plagiarized art.
Well, check this out. I'm taking you on a journey right now.
Yeah, I'm ready.
I'm taking you on a journey. New development is Zack went on Instagram. And God bless you, Mom. Mom sent this to me. She's been sending me the tea that I can see that I've
your own
updated.
mother.
Yes, my own mother. Mother sent it to me. Mama sent it to me. And he is confronting the rumors. And he's like, I've been called. There's hundreds of articles. And he was like showing them in a reel. And he's like, he's a plagiarizer. He's a liar, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, well, here's part of the scene that you didn't see. And he shows footage that was cut out of the original episode. And he says, I wrote a song for you. And then you see him continue to say, well, actually, it's not an original song. It's from one of my favorite artists. And it's one of my favorite songs. And I changed a few of the words for you. And they cut that shit out. Now, and then he also said,
that
too. That
shows you what's really going on.
That's what I'm saying. And then he said at the end, too, he was like, by the way, I have more receipts. And then there was a little preview for like the live reunion. I'm so excited that the reunion's going to be live. But point is, two things. Number one, exactly what you just said. It's so important. And this is a reminder for me too. As I have a fun time and make all my judgment calls with reality TV, this is a perfect example of like, this shit is edited.
Yeah.
Like we are trying, and even with that, I mean, I don't think that they were trying to make him look like a liar. I think they were trying to make it more cringe by being like, he wrote this song himself.
Right.
And he's going a cappella, versus like, hey, I'm changing a few of the words around because all the rest of us are going Blarney Stone.
Yeah, what's a Blarney Stone, dude? That's a Zelda reference for sure. I just haven't gotten that far, but like 100%, you got to get the Blarney Stone and deliver it to the whatever, you know what I mean? So, oh, wow. Okay. So they screwed him on that one.
But this is the other part to it. how else could he have gotten that footage?
I was actually wondering about that.
Except from Netflix themselves. So they allowed him, Love is Blind as a franchise, gave him that footage that he could post on Instagram. And at the end of that reel, like I said too, he goes, stay tuned, I have more receipts. And then there's a preview for the live reunion. Very interesting. We've never have we ever seen anyone from the Bachelor franchise allowed to do anything of the sort where the show's still airing and you're spilling this behind the scenes like this was completely edited wrong or was like, cut and there's all this context is missing. And I'm going to say this was edited out and then ABC allow it.
That's because Netflix knows what they're doing.
That's what I'm saying.
You know what I mean? They realize that like any good press is bad press. It's like any press is good press. It's like they would rather have him expose them for cutting stuff than like hide it all. Because they know that this will just create more clicks and more interest in the shows. They know they're not trying like they're smart. They're the ones that get it. Like if ABC picked up on some of this, like ABC's living in like the 20s. Like they're just like, we have to keep our image. And it's like, they don't realize that everyone knows.
Everyone knows
that you're cutting things and changing things and manipulating things.
Even though sometimes we forget. I'm guilty of it myself.
No, I'm just saying like everyone knows that you're playing with us.
Yes.
So it's like the best thing you could do is play into the drama. Yes. Allow people out of these like binding contracts, allow them to spill tea, allow them to like expose things because 100%. What it does is it creates more interest in what's going on.
Now I'm already hyped about seeing this live reunion, but now I'm even more like, oh my God, he's bringing receipts. Like he's going to do this whole thing. This feels very much more like if you are a fan of the Housewife franchise, whenever they do a Housewife reunion, the housewives often talk about things that production did.
Yeah.
They bring receipts and it's way better than an After the Final Rose episode. It's not it's electric. And I think this reunion's going to be electric because these people are going to be bringing in receipts. And all I'm saying is, like you said, Netflix is doing it way better. Also, I'd imagine you then have people who are part of Netflix, like, who are reality TV stars who are down to maybe come back for more shows because you're like, oh, if I get screwed in an edit, I can go online or I can go on a podcast and be like, that didn't happen.
Exactly. It's
so at least you're able to protect yourself a little bit versus a lot of these contestants on ABC with The Bachelor. They're screwed.
You're left to...
And we see people getting sued.
Like how many people are out there with like these rumors about them that aren't even true, but they can't refute them because it'll go against their contract, It's
exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Dude, Netflix needs to consult for ABC. No questions about it.
It's time to bring The Bachelor over to Netflix, baby.
Honestly, that would be fire.
Time to bring The Bachelor over to Netflix.
They would kill it. They would kill it. Well, Zack singing Blarney Stone, still kind of a weird pull, just because it would be cooler if like you pulled something we all knew. You know what I mean? It's just like, tonight's the night, let it shine.
Oh, we would have come out the fireworks.
4th of July, baby, you're up. Firework. Firework. You know what I mean? Something we all know.
If Zack would have set up a full DJ booth in the pod and he's spinning.
Yeah, he's just like, we got.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, just another cocktail. Thank you. Fire.
Like,
fire. Let me hear you got that loud and
oh, sorry, Irina. Bliss is in here. She's bringing me a cocktail. She's coming in. She's like, wait, I thought you were proposing to me. And you're like, yeah. She can bring a cocktail. That's all. That's all.
He's got go-go dancers on the tables, and he's just like, yeah, baby.
Listen, they already allowed him to do Ludo songs, so they probably had to pay for that in some form, right? Maybe. I don't know. I guess he's singing a cappella.
If you sing it a cappella in your own voice, you probably don't have to.
Probably not.
Maybe, yeah. Well, it was wild, and I'll be honest with you, if he did a better job, it wouldn't have been as entertaining. So I appreciate him can't carry a single tune,
Anything Zack does. You know me, like for the first 10 minutes, I was not Team Zack. And then he won, he stole my heart. Yeah. And now these past 3 episodes, that I am just the entire time we were watching it. I love him. And anytime anyone says anything bad about him, I was like, I was coming out swinging.
Yeah.
When everybody was like, yeah, Zack, oh my God. And all the women were talking about how much they couldn't stand him. I was like, honestly, how dare all of you?
Yeah, I didn't get that, man. That hurt my heart.
It hurt my heart. It hurt my feelings.
What's going on?
I mean, sure, the energy is a little different.
It's a little Joker.
But you got to get to know people.
Right.
And he's a sweet, sweet guy. And I'm rooting for him. And oh my God, the Bliss thing. Okay, we'll talk about it. Before we get into the recap of these 3 episodes.
Let's do it.
Let's take a quick pause. So family, here's the truth of the matter. You see Evan right now. Clearly this man is struggling.
We need our next sponsor very bad.
He needs some serious hydration, okay? Immediately. I also have some parties coming up this weekend. Don't worry, I'll take you all along with me. And the lifesaver for so many times during these party times has been Liquid IV, because Liquid IV hydrates 2 times faster than water alone with 3 times the electrolytes of traditional sports drinks. It has been my secret weapon, genuinely, for years after some of those nights. And the packaging is so convenient. I never forget to keep them in my purse or my glove compartment. It's so good.
And it's delicious too. So many good flavors. Strawberry lemonade is my personal fave. Like Jess said, 1 stick of Liquid IV is in 16 ounces of water, hydrates you 2 times faster and more efficiently than water alone. They have 12 delicious flavors, contain 5 essential vitamins, B3, B5, B6, B12, and vitamin C, with 3 times the electrolytes of traditional sports drinks. And it's made with premium ingredients and is non-GMO and free from gluten, dairy, and soy.
And by the way, Liquid IV believes that equitable access to clean and abundant water is the foundation of a healthier world. And to date, Liquid IV has donated over 39 million servings in 50 plus countries around the world. They're an amazing company, an amazing product. Like I said, I have been a regular user of Liquid IV, I don't know, for the past 5 years now, something like that. Grab your Liquid IV in bulk nationwide at Costco, or you can get 20% off when you go to liquidiv.com and use code MOMDAD at checkout. That's 20% off anything you order when you shop Better Hydration today using promo code MOMDAD at liquidiv.com. So our little one just wrapped her spring break and we had so much fun family time together. But let's be honest, at a certain point you go, okay, we're home. What are we going to do now, right? Well, we have the answer for all the parents and caretakers out there, and that is KiwiCo. Each month, KiwiCo delivers crates packed with fun and spark creativity with kid-friendly topics and activities, from engineering robots to learning about the science of cooking. There's interesting topics for every kid and real hands-on skills to explore. Ember has been obsessed with KiwiCo.
She loves it.
When that crate arrives, she is thrilled. It's a party.
And KiwiCo has something for everyone. They have subscription lines for infants and preschoolers to teens and beyond. Here's the thing. As a parent, it can be hard to find creative ways to keep your children busy, challenged, and off their screens. KiwiCo does the legwork for you so you can simply spend quality time tackling projects together.
It's genuinely Ember's favorite day, like I said, when that KiwiCo crate arrives at the door. And I love doing the projects together as a family, but I will say something I love about KiwiCo is that they make it so the kids are able to really figure it out themselves. I've seen Ember's confidence grow so much because of that. I've seen her take so much pride in these amazing projects that she creates by herself on her own because KiwiCo makes it so. It's amazing. We've gotten so many amazing crates from KiwiCo. A recent hit with Ember was a crate that was focused on paleontology because she is obsessed with dinosaurs, and KiwiCo helped her feel like she was just an expert out in the field, baby.
Redefine learning with play. Explore hands-on projects that build creative confidence and problem-solving skills with KiwiCo. Get 50% off your first month plus free shipping on any crate at kiwico.com/momdad. That's 50% off your first month at kiwico.com/momdad.
Okay, before we cover episodes 4 through 6, another thing I did have to tell you too, that so many family, you all are coming in, by the way, the family is amazing. They have been coming hot with the tea that is only surrounding those episodes. No spoilers.
Although,
so bless all of you.
You guys have been amazing. Although I did see like one DM accidentally, and then I had to get out of it real quick.
Wait, did you see something?
I don't know. I saw a little something, and I'm a little nervous about it. So like,
please don't tell me.
I'm trying to get it out of my mind a little bit.
Okay.
But hey, don't do that, guys. Okay.
But in general, I'm getting the tea
Yeah.
without any spoilers.
Honestly,
so bless
you guys have been
all.
very respectful.
Thank you. We so appreciate
Because all it takes is one person. So please get on the same page. Like if everyone did it and then one person didn't, it ruins all your hard work. It's like being on a team. You know what I mean? So like we're on a team together. Stick together. Okay?
I like the idea of the fact that everyone knows what's happening and we don't.
But I think that's what's fun about this.
So I'm saying it's fun. You're getting our genuine real-time reactions.
And you get to watch us
fumble
and know that we're wrong.
Yeah.
Or know that we're right. Like you're gonna get to be like, oh my gosh, they're so ignorant about the fact that this is happening.
Love watching a fumble.
We should call this podcast the Fumblers because 90% of our takes are insane. And there's a lot of like just instant judgment. like one episode later being like, I was completely wrong.
Okay, but something I have to say that a bunch of the family sent me was, how you were going on your riff last episode about the idea of these people who potentially got like engaged, got to the altar, had families, and they never showed them. Well, and I said, they don't ever get that far. Well, apparently the first 2 seasons, there were a few couples that got engaged and even like made it all the way to the altar and they cut them out entirely. So what you were saying happened.
No.
Can you imagine?
Way.
Can you imagine? I mean, that's like 2 full months of like dedication to something and getting it erased from history.
Yeah, and like what if there's a couple of people who did it just
it.
for like followers or something, and then like they get cut out and then they're having to pay for divorce lawyers. Insane.
Unbelievable, right?
Insane.
So something to keep in mind.
Happening that makes sense because I was actually talking to your mom about this.
God bless you, Mom.
But me and your mom were talking, and she was like, we were talking about how there was other people that got cut out, and she goes, well, how do they make sure that like they have a chunk of people that actually go far enough? Like, how do they not like film an entire group of people and like only one goes? And like it makes sense. You get enough people.
You got to have enough.
And then you have a couple backups.
Yeah.
Where you're like, their story's not that interesting. It's kind of boring, but just in case these other people don't keep going where they're going.
Yeah. Or we have a snoozer season, we got to
fix that. All right, let's get into this.
Okay. Let's do this because we're covering the 3 episodes.
Okay.
We're all heading to Mexico now. So now we're going straight to Mexico. So let's.
Jealous, by the way.
I know.
I want to go to Mexico, dude. What the hell? I want to be in Mexico, chilling on the beach. Like that's all I could think about was like, cool, yeah, you guys got your drama, but like you're in a pool drinking pina coladas.
But like enjoy the moment.
Stop crying to me about this like drama you got going on. Let me just be there.
Suck it up.
Suck it up, dude. You could be doing this stuff in Glendale, okay? Like, stop.
How dare you shame our city?
How
dare you shame our city?
How hard could it be for you? You're in Cancun. Suck it up.
When people have the major ick. Okay,
That's
so
true.
So let's talk about in general, just like the overview of the couples and like where we're feeling with them. Then we can talk about the pool party and the fallout from that. And then a little bit, we'll mix in the hometown, getting back home situation. Sound good?
Sounds great.
So we'll be weaving in and out.
We'll weave.
We'll
Bob and
weave. Okay, first and foremost, let's just get this direct. Tiffany and Brett, they go directly in to Mexico and it is as perfect as it could possibly be.
It's unbelievable.
I mean, those two.
They won the lottery.
They won the lottery with each other. They're absolutely fantastic. I was thinking this entire time, if I'm going into a situation like them and I am like, okay, I'm feeling this attraction in the pods. It doesn't matter how good I feel and how attracted I am to somebody in the pods, more likely than not, I am tripping out, having to go directly into a hotel room situation. Because you know me, I'm a little bit of a hermit crab, okay? So I'm like, I need space.
Yeah.
So I just, yes, we've gotten to know each other's souls via this pod, but now I have to go directly onto a flight with you and now just shack up with you immediately. It's not like I'm going to invite you back to my room tonight after a dinner. We're going directly into living together.
Never even seen you.
Never even seen you.
No idea your vibe.
We're directly going into a live-in situation. And I have my little quirks and things, and I like a lot of space.
Yes.
So the idea of someone just being like this,
oh my God,
constantly like up in my business, and I'm like, I haven't quite seen you before. I need a breather. I need time. I need a separate room.
Or but even like, if you're in these pods for 2 weeks and you're like cut off from all civilization, you know what I want to do when I first get back?
What?
I don't want to hang out with you. I want to watch my favorite television show.
I want to
I want to watch Succession.
I want to get into my favorite shows. I want to catch up.
All I want to do is play
call
Zelda, dude, and you're here staring at me. You know what I mean? Like, get off. I'm getting the ick just because you're here. I'm trying to Z out with my Zelda heads, with my Z heads, with my Z team, and you're here staring at me saying, "Can we talk more?" I'm like, I've talked to you for 2 weeks.
No,
I'm playing Zelda.
I need a break. I need a moment to like take in the reveal and what happened from the reveal.
I need a day.
And I need a breather. I don't need you in my bed or you in my bathroom.
In my bath.
In my bath.
Like we take a bath together. You're like, dude, give me
I'm
a
soaking
second.
for 24 hours alone.
Yes.
But for Tiffany and Brett, that's the one situation that I'd be like, I guess I'm good.
You're absolutely right. It's the one that's like, there's so no ick factor and they're so into each other and they're both amazing that you're just kind of like, you lucked out, man.
Incredible human beings. You have Tiffany, who throughout this entire process is just one of those people that gives off this energy that like, I want to be around Tiffany. She seems like every moment everything's comfortable and fun. And when they had their first like dinner together, they were laughing and there were serious moments, but there's also like a lot of breathers. Right. It feels so low pressure. Like she's so, I don't know. I just want to be around her.
She's 36, man. She's done with the games.
Yeah.
She's done with the Michael Kwame games. She's done with the Irina games. She's done with the back and forth. I don't know what I want.
Yeah.
She's done with trying to get you to like me. She's done with all that. She is like, I know what I want. I know what I'm capable of. Yeah. I'm ready to give. I think that's a big one too.
Yeah.
When you're young, there's a lot of taking. Mm-hmm. What am I getting out of this? And Tiffany has that like, I'm willing to give. I'm willing to give affirmation and love. She's always talking in the pods to Brett about like, I want to give to you. Like, I want to tell you how great you are.
But then she also is like, you can see there's like this protection of herself and her boundaries and leaning back like when she needs to and all of that. And then Brett making... So sorry, I love you so much. Yeah. Every man on the planet seemed terrible.
No, first of all, 6'5", gorgeous.
I mean, so gorgeous.
Then, like, public affirmation king, celebrating her at everything. He's going, look at her, just look at her. Like
his public affirmation to me, you know me. I live for some public aff. I love words of affirmation in general, but you give me some public aff, and I'm so beyond in. And that's like public affirmation, like for us, 18 years in, it means so much. Right. But the fact that he's doing these public affirmations so early on and like going to the men, like you said, being like, look at her, she's amazing. And then and by the way, also what I love too, I love when they were having their sit downs post the pool party and he was letting her know how wonderful everyone thinks she is. Just like the validation. And then when he's
not testing out other relationships. He's not like going around going, hey, what's up, ladies? Let's talk for a little bit. He's just literally like, I got my girl.
Or playing the games of like, I'm not going to give too much because we'll see where she's at. Like he's all in. And then their first night together was so hot.
I'm like, this is the hottest thing I've ever seen.
It was so hot when he was just like, get on top. I'm dripping in sweat. And I'm like, oh my God, this is the hottest moment I've seen on television in quite some time. And
it was fantastic.
It was fantastic. So, I mean, these two, by the way, I think it was episode 5 that we had a little teaser for the rest of the season. Right. And it made it look like it was either their wedding day or he was trying on suits, but he said something like, this is not happening on the wedding day. Yeah. I think Netflix is fucking with
BS.
us.
I mean, we saw, like, we know they're so locked in. It was probably like the cake came late and he was like, this shouldn't happen. And they like cut that like, whoa, are they on ice? And it's
I thought maybe it was like a family thing. Maybe someone doesn't show up and they're sad about that.
But it's definitely editing to play with our emotions.
I think it's bait and switch because there's no way these two... They're going. It's all the way. There's children. There's a future. You know, they're planning their life together. There's no way.
Agreed.
Okay. Micah and Paul.
Okay. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Now, there were numerous people in Mexico that once they were out of the pods, I was a little bit like, I made a mistake in some of my quick reactions. So I feel the need to make a public apology to Paul. An apology to Paul.
Whoa, you guys. That was a dad joke, a real good dad joke. I just want to say I'm proud of you.
Thank you so much. An apology to Paul because we went hard. I took my
100%.
initial feelings about Paul and I was just like, red flag, red flag, red flag. His energy just seems so different.
We were like excited about reviewing a new show. We were excited about jumping in. And did we come in super hot? Were we swinging
a little bit for
fences?
Paul? Yeah,
Yes.
a little bit.
Did we smell blood in the water? And we were like, let's get him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We did. And this brings me to a point about the pods versus not the pods.
Yeah.
I am now realizing that Netflix cut together their most awkward moments and made it like their personality.
Sure.
Also, I think people in the pods act differently, especially the guys.
The guys seemed, the energy was very different. I felt like Paul's energy was different. Kwame's energy was different. Zack, to a certain extent, energy was
big time
different.
They came in like they were in Vegas and they were trying to like play a role, like meet a girl, like, hey, what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. I'm a doctor and I'm about to do surgery on that ass. Like, you know what I mean? Like it was very like corny lines and like sexy moves and everything was like, Paul was just like, when I'm in the presence of true love, I am overcome by a fire of glory. And you're like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
And then he gets out and he acts like a normal guy and you're like, oh, so what happened is that you're in this awkward situation. You're trying to be charming, funny, sexy, the whole thing. And you're going to have awkward, corny moments. Yeah. And these guys kind of pulling out some of the corny lines, Zack with the like, I'm a stripper. What do you think about that? Kwame with the like, I'm going to play you a song. Like all that stuff was very like corny. And I think that it was like, they were trying to come up with like, what character should I be to be enticing?
Yeah.
The women seem to be in general a lot more like themselves. Like,
they were way more.
When like we're seeing them out of the pods and we're not like, who is this person?
Right.
Versus especially Paul and Zack, there's a little bit of like, whoa, okay. Seeing you in real life, different and much more enjoyable and balanced. And I'm going, oh, I like you guys. Versus in the pods, presented a very different.
Paul in the pods, it was like we talked about the way in which he, would be like, well, the microbial effect of like your vibe is just like not on the same level. And like there were a few moments in this. There was one moment when he was talking to Zack later in, I think, episode 6, where he was like, she meets the minimum requirements for the perfect woman. And I was like, okay, Paul, like whatever. But there were those moments where I'm like, okay, this guy is kind of like high on his own supply a little bit.
He's trying to be kind of hot and sexy and braggadocious. You know what I mean?
That's what it felt like. But then also too, I was like, oh, the red flags. And I get, here's the thing. You see, again, hot scientist, smart guy. I'm like, he's a player.
He's a player.
Now
right.
I will say this. I'm enjoying Paul right now.
Yeah.
There are some moments where I still feel like Paul might be a little bit of a player
sure.
that maybe we're not seeing as much. There was, when he was talking with Irina at one point and she was flirting with him, he wasn't pushing her away. He bit
her finger when she like touched his face.
Biting her hand. He was like, what do you think about the way I look?
Yeah, he was very interested in knowing what she thought.
I don't think he's into her, but I think it was the energy a little bit of like, okay, this is maybe a little bit of a playboy. I mean, he was biting her hand.
I think, we'll get into this, I think it has a lot more to do with Micah than Irina.
Okay, interesting.
I think his flirting with Irina didn't have to do with Irina.
Okay.
I think it was like where he's maybe feeling a little bit with Micah.
Okay.
Exactly.
Well, but that's my thing. So I'm like, I'm really enjoying Paul.
Yeah.
I really do. And I'm loving him and Zack's relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Paul's one of those ones, and I feel pretty confident saying this. Who knows though, again. I feel like Paul's going to be one of the guys that by the time when we hit the live reunion, which I'm so excited about the live reunion. Oh my God. When we hit the live reunion, I'm either going to be like, I love Paul and Paul's been rock solid through this whole thing, or numerous months now later, it's going to be like, maybe Paul was a little bit of a player. We're finding out some stuff in the reunion. That's all I'm going to say about Paul.
Listen, everybody.
I like him. I can say, I think I'm going to feel either like I continue to really like Paul, or there's going to be a surprise at the reunion.
In the real world, so far, Paul is a much more palatable, enjoyable person than he was in the pod.
So what we find out about Paul and Micah is that when we first saw them reveal, you and I were like, oh, they're super into each other physically. Well, we find out both of them say that the other person is not typically their type.
That was really interesting.
Which I was actually really surprised by.
When they first met each other, they were very like, oh my gosh, you're amazing, you're hot, you're exactly what I pictured you, blah, 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 blah. And then they both later on are like, I'm usually into more granola girls and I'm usually into more like witchy girls. And then she's more like, he's not my type generally.
Yeah.
And they definitely, I mean, what do you think about like when she's on that, when they're like driving that ATV thing? You know what I mean? You kind of start to see, in my opinion, the real difference. He's loving the dust and the nature
eating the dust.
and the bugs, and he's like loving the adventure.
With nature.
And she's like, "Where is the nearest like restaurant?" You know what I mean?
She was just like, "I'm burning. It's hot. There's dust in my eyes." They get to the cenote.
You drive like, crazy. Like you're dorky. Like it was just like she was critical of the whole shit because she was like, "This is not my thing."
And she was like, "They're the fish. What are those fish in there? What are those creatures? What are those bugs?" And he was calling like the fish and the bugs little buddies. He's like, "They're little buddies. They're our friends. They're our pals."
She's like, "Okay." Like it was just a different energy.
And there were numerous times where he was saying, like you had said, he was like, okay, I'm normally more into witchy women, paint all over their overalls, herb gardens, and Micah's not that way.
Right.
I don't know with these two. I really don't. I found it interesting that he made reference a few times to the fact that he has a hard time processing decisions, and he questions himself a lot. And at one point later in the episode, he does bring up to Zack that he's thought about Amber
because Zack was talking about Bliss.
Yeah,
and so he's like, "Oh, do you think about Bliss?" And he's like, "I can sympathize with you because I sometimes wonder if I made the right choice."
Yes,
and it was like, "Whoa, we have not heard that yet."
So I'm questioning if maybe later on in the season he's going to be like, I don't know how I feel about this. I think he likes Micah. I think they like each other, but I think they might be too different.
I feel like they're looking at each other in like glass enclosures and they're like, you're not my type at all. And I don't really have anything in common with you, but I find you attractive and we connected.
Yeah.
So are we friends or do we love each other? Well, that's the vibe I'm getting.
He said the way that we see the world is super similar, but she's a little more like laid back and lighthearted and it's good for me. So it might be one of those things where you're like, oh, it ends up actually.
But also clean and very particular. Remember he was saying that?
And then she was super neat.
And he's kind of like, that's not my vibe at all.
Which was shocking to me.
I think, here's what I think. People are very contradictory in their statements in this show.
Yeah.
They'll do a lot of things like Irina was constantly doing with Zack, like, you're a great guy and we really connect, but I find you disgusting. Get away from me. I hate you. You know what I mean? And then like, you know what I mean? Like, there's just a lot of that going on.
Yeah.
So it's like, I think there's a lot of like, I'm trying to convince myself going on.
There's a lot of convincing, attempting to go on.
And with Paul and Micah, I think that like on a base level, they like each other, but I think they have nothing in common.
No.
And I think they don't share the same interests at all.
I think that's going to become apparent.
I think we're going to see the things start to like disintegrate.
Yeah, I think that's going to become apparent as each week passes that their worlds are very different. But I was bewildered when he said that she's super neat and that he is more like.
I did not see that coming.
I would have put all my life savings on the fact that Paul is like, I press every shirt I wear. Everything is in its perfect place. Everything is labeled. You wipe, the top of any countertop and it's just, you could lick it.
I assumed their first night together, she made the bathroom like a disaster. Like all her creams and everything were everywhere.
I was thinking her and I were going to be similar in that way. I thought it was going to be a tornado like my bathroom.
And he was going to be like, well, this is insane. So the fact that she's the clean one and he's the messy one?
That was very surprising to me.
Did not see that coming.
This is what I'm learning about Paul. Paul, when he's bringing up his witchy girlfriends and bringing up how he likes to be in flow more, he's Mushroom Paul.
Because doing mushrooms and vibing in the nature.
He's Mushroom Paul. Paul is Mushroom King.
Is he mushy Paul?
He's Mushy Paul. Mushy Paul. He's like, I am a scientist because I want to be one with nature. These are all my little buddies.
So he's not a particular scientist that sits there and like make sure the pens are perfectly aligned. He is the nature guy.
No, he's like, I want to become one with the universe. Like I want to become a symbiosis. I want to like, entrench myself in dirt. I want to take these different elements and rub them all over my body and become one, our elemental nature. All of this started to come together with the first 3 episodes of certain things he was saying that I'm like, he's Mushroom Paul.
He's a mushy scientist.
He's Mushy King.
He's Mushroom King. He's the king of shrooms.
Like he's the mushroom. Like definitely Paul is like a psychedelic king.
That's what makes him hot too. Like that's what makes him like probably like he does well out in the scene is because he is the scientist who goes to Burning Man. You know what I mean?
This is Paul.
He's the
Paul,
guy
let
that
us know if
shows
you've been
up,
to Burning Man before.
and everyone else like is just like, I don't know, man. I'm in between jobs, and he's like, I'm a scientist, and they're like, what?
Yeah.
What are you doing here? He's like, experiencing my experiences and experiencing my experiments.
He's
And
like,
they're
I've come
whoa.
here to get you in flow. Like for all of us to be in flow together in nature. Let's all breathe the same breath together.
Yeah, he's smart and free.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Yeah, no, I mean,
That's more of the vibe I'm getting.
Yeah, he's kind of like a hippie scientist.
Yeah.
Which is really
yeah.
cool. But I do feel like she's like a city girl and he's kind of like Granola King. You know what I mean?
I know. Mushy King.
He's Mushy King and she is, 3-course queen.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
I think so.
She's silverware and a nice dinner. He's like, I want to cook on this skillet under the moonlight.
Yeah, I want to
to
eat these things. Like I want them to be wrapped in leaves.
Exactly. I want to cook this thing underground.
Like he's going to go on Naked and Afraid and he's going to be like, I know I'm not going to go very far. Like I don't think that I have the physical equipment to be able to extend myself.
Yes.
But I want to experience these 3 days that I can be present on Naked and Afraid.
She's like, why would I ever do this?
Yeah, he would be like, all you'd see is Paul's eyes. He would like entrench himself fully in the mud.
In order to not get bit by the cicadas or whatever it is. You know, that's the dude. Speaking of that show real quick, it's always the mosquitoes. So my thing is this, like the number one thing with these people is they always get destroyed by the mosquitoes. You got to come in with like a mosquito technique because everyone's good. It's like, oh, I can hunt. I can do this. I can do that. I can get water. I can make fire. But everyone gets rocked by the mosquitoes.
All the buggies. You got to learn. You got to inject yourself with something.
If I was going to go on the show, all I would do, you know how people
They
have like a machete?
Yeah.
I'd have like a massive Costco-sized bottle of
bug repellent.
Bug repellent.
Yeah.
And then I would win.
Yeah.
Everyone else leaves because they get destroyed by bugs. I'd have a huge thing of bug repellent. I'd coat myself in it all day long. And then I'd just sit around and catch a bug or two and eat it and wait 20 days. Versus everyone else is like, I've made this structure. And then like 400 mosquitoes later, they're gone.
Sign them up.
Sign them up.
Sign them up.
It's my trick.
So yeah, that's Paul and Micah. I have questions.
Okay.
I think that they could go all the way, but I also don't. The vibe I'm getting from Paul is that he's questioning too much, that I don't think he'll actually, I take back my original guess that they'll get married.
Okay.
I think maybe they'll keep dating, but I don't know if I could see him pulling the trigger.
Got it. Okay.
Since he seems like he's more of a hesitant person.
Okay.
Okay. Next, Jacqueline and Marshall. So Jackie and Marshall, what we talked about last week was that we thought when they had the reveal that Jackie was like, this is...
We sensed
that it was like, that Marshall maybe... He's obviously a very handsome man, but like maybe he just isn't her typical type. And we have confirmation within the first few minutes of the first episode 4, that she typically is like, he's not my type typically physically. I normally go for like 6'5", tatted
Brett.
top to bottom. Brett, even though Brett's not tatted.
But we
she's
see when she walks in, she goes,
he's fine.
Whoa, he's fine. Like it was almost guttural. It was almost like her body went just like,
She's
whoa,
like,
he's hot. And then Marshall looked at her and goes, what? No, I know. I told you he was attractive. And she's like, yeah, totally. No, never mind.
But
she was just like, whoa, like that's the guy I like. You know?
So Marshall is not her typical type.
Sure.
Now she's saying in her ITMs where she's like, he is, continued to what we had for the first 3 episodes where she was like, he is a quality man. He's the type of guy I want to be with. I
Yes.
need to be with.
Yes.
And she said this to him numerous times throughout the episode where she was like, I need to be with someone like you. It's what's best for me. Like, I know I need to, but I haven't in the past. I definitely feel the same way that I felt episode 3 when they had the reveal that she clearly likes him and he obviously very much likes her, but I don't think that she is physically attracted to him, and I think she's kind of panicking because of that.
I couldn't agree more.
Yeah.
I couldn't agree more, man. It's like when your heart, you have two brains,
Yeah.
heart and mind, you know, and the mind is telling her, what an awesome guy.
Incredible.
He's cooking for me. He made a compote.
He made a compote.
I don't even know what a compote is, but he made one for her. Okay? I don't even know what that is, but he made it for her. That is incredible. You know what I'm saying? I've never had one of those before, but I'm sure it's sick. So he made her a compote, okay?
And he cleans up after.
So he's cleaning. He's got the glasses on, which is kind of like the
so
cute
handsome
vibe.
with the glasses on.
He's got the glasses on. You know, like Lee. Lee's got some hot glasses on. Lee looks smart.
Lee's looking smart and hot with the glasses on.
Lee's got that, like, you know, cute, smart thing going on. You know what I mean? And like, I don't have that. And like, I want to know what that's like to have, you know? So he's got the glasses on, okay? He's making compote. We don't know what that is, but it's some sort of jelly, okay? It looks kind of like jam of some sort. It looks like a jelly. He made some sort of jelly from scratch, okay? He makes the pancakes, and then he comes out, okay? And he's got the like
The
thing,
duster.
like the duster, and he's like tapping it, and there's powdered sugar falling on the pancakes.
I mean, this is an episode of Chef's Table.
This isn't a condo.
No.
Okay, this is not at the Four Seasons. This is at a condo, and he's hitting the thing with the compote, and the whole thing. Okay, so we got compote, dusters, fucking whatever. You know what I mean? It's very romantic. He's cooking. He's cleaning. Then he even says, when she's like, "I'll help you clean," he goes, "No, I'll clean. I've already been up and ready. You just focus on your day." So, I mean, let's be real. He's the dream man. He's emotionally intelligent. He's open. He's kind. He's thoughtful. But this is the difference between this just like thing that like you can't put into words, which is like, does it tick a box that you can't write down? Because Marshall ticks all the boxes.
All of them.
But there's something she's got where she's like, there is a missing box. That like I think she's coming to terms with the fact that like there's a box that I can't write down that's big enough that makes all the smaller boxes that are these great things about him not check the big one.
Yeah.
Which is just that guttural sense of, I want you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think she's missing that. So her brain is going, dream guy.
Yeah.
Because she talks about it. She goes, he was there for her when she's crying.
All
night long.
So I was going to say, it was like when she was after their date alone and they have this really good conversation and she shares that she thinks he's amazing and he's the right guy that she needs, but she's concerned about herself.
Yeah.
And then she goes back to the hotel and she's breaking down about all this family stress that she has that she's going to go back into. So clearly there's a lot of anxiety there. He handles it, in my opinion, as someone who like has gone, has my panic attacks and all this. 10. He's not trying to sit there and fix it for her. He's not lecturing her in any way. He's not writing off how she's feeling. He's literally a presence there. And he's like, can I do anything to take you back to that moment before? No. Then he just is there. He holds her. He lets her know they're going to go into this together. He does everything right in those moments.
He's immaculate, but actions can only go so far.
Yeah.
Your personality can go so far. There has to be a genuine chemical connection that you can't describe. It has to start there.
Yeah.
And that's why people stay with people that their actions are horrible, because they have the genuine connection. They have that like guttural response to someone. You know what I mean? And it's like, if you don't have it, it's really hard to replace that. That's why she's doing, I mean, if you actually think about it, she's doing a version of the Irina, just far less mean. Like Irina does a lot. We'll get into that, but like she's doing this thing where she's going, like she's saying, "Oh, I love him. He's my little dumbass." Like she's almost trying to like she says, like, "You're my little dumbass." You know, like she's trying to kind of reframe the relationship.
It feels very much more friend.
So how do I palette this? Because I can't seem to rationalize why I can't find this guy hot, like in my soul. Not like physically he's hot. Emotionally, he's hot. Everything's hot, but I can't feel it.
Yeah.
What is wrong? You could see her being like, "Is there something wrong with him?" You could see like her questioning everything, being like, "Why can't I find this with him?" And so she's kind of being friendly with. She's changing. Her personality is changing. She's like saying weird stuff. She's like going, like, "Yay!" Like she's just saying all these things that like are like, "Oh, you're changing your personality almost to kind of deal with this fact that you almost see the impending doom coming."
Yeah.
That's the feeling I get, is like her anxiety is oozing off of her.
Yeah, I think so too. And I'm not to dismiss any of the stress or pain she's feeling with her family, because obviously that's like very, very real. But when she was having that breakdown in the hotel room, I felt very much like, obviously this has to do with family, but I also felt, and I'm, ignore me because I'm probably just speaking from my own, like projecting my own feelings onto it. But I also felt like there was a large piece of that had to do with, they just had this great date and she feels like, I want this to be the guy that I want to be with, but it's not clicking internally for me. And I'm feeling anxious about it because I want it to work, but there's also something missing and I can't place what it is because he's everything.
He's looking at her going, "You're gorgeous. You're amazing." But I think he deep down knows too. You could just see it in his eyes. He's got that,
I think
like,
so too.
Something's off.
Yeah.
And I can't put my feet, she knows what's off.
Yeah.
But he's going, "You're my dream girl, but something's feels
off.
weird right now."
Yeah.
It's like when we go in for the kiss and you give me the cheek, it's kind of like, what was, you're just quite, you're like, why, what's going on with that? Listen, I haven't seen the episodes, but I see it coming. You know what I mean?
I know.
Unless they just fully lie to themselves, she is gonna at some point, like hit a head to like just like implode, because of the stress of it.
Yeah, I definitely don't. If it gets to the altar, I don't think it's happening. Yes. I would be shocked.
Agreed.
I would be shocked.
Agreed.
Okay, before we dive into Kwame and Chelsea, let's take a quick pause. So, family, I love the fashion, and I have to tell you, there is nothing like a piece that is high quality and timeless that you can wear again and again in casual settings or out to a nice dinner. Those are your forever pieces, and that is Jenni Kayne. Think minimalist meets luxury. Jenni Kayne items are classic, comfortable, and California-inspired clothes, from the cotton or cashmere knit sweater you're obsessed with to the flowy summer dress you never want to take off. We both have pieces from Jenni Kayne, by the way. My cashmere cocoon sweater is everything to me. It is so delicious and wonderful and gorgeous, and your hoodie is fantastic.
It's incredible.
They're so classic, they're so timeless, and they're also so unbelievably comfortable. The quality is a 10, like I said, and just an absolute forever piece. And the shoes, the mules, you have to go on their website and browse. Okay, with the spring upon us, please, I'm telling you, go look at the Jenni Kayne dresses, okay? The Riviera slip dress is my spring summer dream. I'm already seeing it. Pairing the Riviera slip dress in hazel with the cashmere cocoon sweater in oatmeal and a pair of their leather knot sandals. Oh my God, it's so good. You have to check out their website. Everything is fantastic.
Whether you're dressing for work, errands, or a night on the town, Jenni Kayne is a go-to for effortless, everyday outfitting. Find your forever pieces at jennikayne.com. Our listeners get 15% off your first order when you use code MOMDAD at checkout. That's 15% off your first order at JENNIKAYNE.com. Promo code MOMDAD. The brand go-to for all season staples. Treat yourself because you deserve it.
All right, Kwame and Chelsea. Okay. Now, these two. So, last episode, we talked about how, I was like, these two are meant to be together. Yeah. They're perfect. It's everything. But then my concern was that reveal where Chelsea was like, she was sucking him in. She was breathing him in. She was living for this moment. And it seemed like Kwame just wasn't quite there in that moment. That feeling has continued, but maybe times 10.
Yes.
Also, we were talking about them having very much like the motivational speaker energy. As we see in Chelsea's home later, she has her morning affirmations taped on her mirror. We nailed that one. But Kwame, on the flip side, his energy seems super different out of the pods. Yeah. Like, I don't know if it's because he is with Chelsea and Chelsea might not be who he was expecting to be with. But we do hear him again when they go back to their homes that he's like, normally I'd be in my boxers playing Xbox. And I was like, maybe that wasn't the Tony Robbins, grind set I was thinking of.
Not much of a grind set mindset thing.
Maybe I was just really misreading that situation.
Yeah.
Or I don't know if he was meeting her in that moment in the pods.
I think he was selling her. He wasn't selling her anything, but he was matching her energy because that's what we do sometimes, especially if it's visual only. I think what was happening was she was talking to him.
Or auditory only.
What'd I say?
Visual.
Oh, sorry, auditory.
Yeah.
I think what was happening was that she was giving off, I'm an embetterment person. I'm a person that like works out because I want my body to thrive. I eat this because I want to be cognitively there. I listen to these podcasts because I want to be able to think of creative ideas. I go to these conferences because I want to kill business. Like her thing is like, I'm always leveling up in every way. Like she clearly has that vibe. Mm-hmm. He, I think, felt that and thought, I like that. That's cool. Yeah. I'm going to give you that back. I make love to your soul. I am a go-getter and I am like this, and this. Right. And so they both, he kind of met her where she's at. And now that they're out, I think what we're seeing with Kwame, I think what we're seeing with him is that, to his own admission, this isn't like even made up. He said, like, before this, I was in my boxers playing Xbox. She's talking about like, I want the house clean. I want the dishes exactly right. He's trying to cut deals with her being like, how about 30% of the time I do the dishes and 30% of the time I just leave them on the counter? And she's like, no, 100. I think what's going on is in her place in life. Yeah. She is like ready to she is just like, everything's in order and she's passionate. She's ready to go.
She's ready for that dual CEO energy.
She's very genuine too in her she's clearly done a ton of therapy. Mm-hmm. When she was talking about the pink apartment, she was talking about how like in my last relationship, I was, I was unwilling, I was unable to express myself. Now I'm like, she has worked through so much. Yeah. Kwame's sitting there going like, I was just in my underwear playing Xbox. He's kind of going like, I'm kind of young. I'm having fun. Maybe I'm a dating guy. I think that's why there's like a Micah connection there. Cause it's like, she's on that kind of level. They're both kind of young and just kind of partying and having fun. Chelsea's like, no, I want a marriage. Mm-hmm. I want to live my life. I want to lock this thing. I want to go to Tony Robbins conferences and like talk about how we can live a better life. I think Kwame's like, this is a lot. Yeah. And if I was Chelsea, I'd feel frustrated about the fact that this person is not kind of giving that same energy they were in the pods, which was like, I'm the same way. Let's get it.
The thing that I'm really concerned about with the two of them is that I believe that Chelsea, like you said, is so ready for marriage and family and to have that forever person. And I think as each day passes, she's definitely picking up the vibe that Kwame might not be fully into her in that way. And what I'm nervous about is that if she is going to just keep pushing through and be like, I want the idea of this to work, so I'm going to keep going, versus like, okay, clearly he's probably not in the same mindset as you are. He's definitely having thoughts about Micah. I don't know if you guys are on the same wavelength of what you want maybe right now, but I'm nervous that she's just going to ignore all that just to get to the point of getting married. And then on the flip side, I'm nervous that he is just going to kind of, because we see him again, like right when he's about to meet her dad. Yeah. And she's so nervous. And he's like, he's looking elsewhere and he's like, oh yeah, great. It's named Charles Chacol.
That was bad.
I have no idea.
That was clearly like the end of the road.
I mean, he seems like just over it. He seems like, just over it. But I'm nervous that then he doesn't want to be this like guy who's going to hurt her so that he might keep moving forward, which is just going to make it worse instead of just ending it now. and just allowing it to just get to the altar or even get to a wedding when both of them are like, this isn't the right thing for us.
And she clearly senses it too. And I think that's why she's squeezing harder. Almost like get him to react, to be like, wake up, feel something. And the more she squeezes, the more that he like retracts.
Yeah.
And another thing I want to bring up really quickly is that I think that like there's also like the love language of flirting and like connecting in a certain way. And I think certain people like Kwame like to be playful, to not give it all up front, to kind of have some mystery, to go back and forth, to create a little tension. Like certain people love that flirtation energy. Chelsea's like all cards on the table, no kind of back and forth, let me keep you on your toes vibe. So and not one of them's wrong or right. They're just different. And I think that Kwame likes the kind of like, I'm a little scared, I'm a little interested, we're offending each other, and then I'm winning you back. Like, he likes that kind of playful energy. And I think Chelsea's like, all cards on the table, let's go. And I think that can be a real miss.
Yeah.
So I'm just not seeing them finding that middle ground.
No. Well, I mean, when they first got there, though, I mean, Chelsea, I really like Chelsea. I think Chelsea
I like her a lot.
Is a wonderful person.
She's just so transparent and so
she's
like
so
open,
transparent.
Also patient.
I was obsessed with the fact that she on night one whipped out her baby blanket. I think she's 31, and she's like, "Are you down to know that we're gonna be mutually sleeping with this baby blanket every night together?" She holds this thing up. This thing is in
tattered,
it's just in shreds.
Major action.
It has seen every phase of her life. This thing, and also it's large.
It's not really a blanket. No. It's more of like pieces of cloth that are holding on.
And I know she's clearly a very clean person, so you know she washes that thing 4 times a day, but I look at that and I'm like, that just looks like it stinks and it's just gnarly, and now we're going to put this right in the middle.
Wear and tear.
And if I'm sitting with someone night one, fact of the matter is this, I don't feel like I'm confident enough in myself to be like, here's my blankie that's tattered. I'd be like, yeah, here's my stuffed animal or my special pillow or whatever, but this thing is holding on for dear life. But I'm obsessed with the fact that she just is confident enough in herself to be like, here's my blankie, and throw it in the middle. And it's just like,
just all your childhood trauma right on me.
Just tattered.
Yeah, it's I respect her honesty and vulnerability to do that.
Yes.
I wouldn't blame someone for feeling a little bit awkward night one meeting them and being intimate in the blankie. You know what I'm saying?
Rolling around
like it feels a little bit like, can we not have it on me while we're hooking up? You know what I mean? Like, can I not be naked with you while your childhood blankie that your mother gave you is on me right now? Like,
it's a lot.
Can we put it towards the side?
It's a lot. It's a lot.
Later on, you can have it. It's like, it'd
Keep
be like,
it on maybe the one side of the bed.
Like bear? You know what's Zack's bear? It's like having Ralph in between me and you while we're having sex. It's a little bit
Irina lived for Ralph as the Holy Spirit between her and Zack.
That's true.
She did live for that energy.
Very true. Yeah.
She would have loved the blankie.
She would have loved the blankie. She was like, we shouldn't do this because, it's like this
the
is the
blankie's here. The blankie's here. You don't want the blankie to see it. But I love that about her. But night one, we know, and I'm sharing this, we know that they were intimate because Chelsea takes the camera and is right away like, guess what we did last night? And Kwame's like, oh my God, we're sharing this right now.
And then walks around to everyone at the pool party.
She's
and
like,
you
bang yet? You bang yet? You bang yet?
I got blown out. I can barely walk. You know what I mean? It was a lot. I was like, okay, well, did you? Because it's like really preaching it. You know what I mean? Like, are you trying to reinforce that like you're a little nervous about your relationship? Or maybe it was epic. And listen, sounds amazing. But it was a lot. It was like, yo.
It was like they should have been wearing matching shirts that were like, we did it. We did it last night.
She was very interested in that. It was definitely funny. She was definitely like very interested in letting everyone know. Like,
she wanted the people to know.
Just so you know, things are great.
You guys haven't done it yet? Ooh,
it was like, by the way, we're amazing.
Okay, we're good. We did, whatever. But yeah, the whole energy, the whole time, it was just after the first night. The first night, it felt like, okay, is this going okay? It's going smoothly. It felt like after sex, you know, God bless Chelsea, love her. Never met someone or seen someone in my life who talks closer to another individual. Like
She's
her
right up
nose is on his profile. She's talking at him.
Yeah.
Her nose is literally pushed against his face, and he can't make eye contact because it's a big energy that's happening.
Energy.
It's a big energy.
Very intense.
And
she's intense.
Yeah, she's intense. But it's like, okay, is he not making eye contact because the energy? At first I was like, is he not making eye contact because the energy's a lot? Or is that maybe something that maybe he's, you know, not a big eye contact guy? But then when I saw him talking to Micah later, I was noting that he kept deep eye contact with her the entire time. So sweating a little bit.
But her energy was totally different. Playful, gamey, dangerous, back and forth. Chelsea's like, I learned eye contact through the Tony Robbins University. If you look directly at someone and you energize your field, they will be embraced by a power, by a fury that has never been seen before. I will suck you into my vortex of passion and connection, and we will together start a business that will destroy empires. That's kind of the vibe. You know what I mean? So it's like she just needs that guy.
I think that that guy is out there and she can find that guy.
Oh, yeah. Like a CrossFit dude.
And definitely CrossFit.
Honestly,
guy.
she should go to CrossFit. I mean, I bet she does go to CrossFit. She should meet a guy at CrossFit gym because he is going to like be that guy. He's going to be like, we do push-ups in the morning. We work out 3 hours a day. We invest. You know what I mean?
I do push-ups. You are on my back. She wants a guy who's going to do push-ups while she's on his back. Making out with his back.
She is such a CrossFit culture person.
Yeah.
So she needs to find that guy.
But my goodness, I mean, this woman, we can get into it in a little bit, but like her ability to just have really healthy conversations.
She's awesome.
And
I do like her a lot.
Be able to, I mean, she dealt with some tough conversations. And if I was in Chelsea's situation and I watched the whole Micah deal, I would be losing my mind. This woman was open with Kwame about how she felt afterwards. And then when she was talking to Micah, she was so patient. I was like, wow. I mean, she's
awesome. She's really mature, and she's just like, even when later on when there was like the issue, when they were talking in bed about closure and everything, he's like, I got a little bit of closure, and she's like, oh, well, you need to get like. She was so balanced. I would have freaking out. I would have left. I would have left.
You didn't get all the closure.
I would have left. I'm gone. I'm not even there. So the fact that she's just pushing through, being responsible, being open, being patient with him, like.
She's going to be an amazing partner for someone if her and Kwame don't work out, which I'm assuming it probably won't happen.
She's going to be fine.
But I also, like I said, it's riding that line where I'm a little bit like, okay, I want you to then put those boundaries up for yourself where you're like, okay, what then is too much? Where you're like, no, this probably isn't the right relationship.
Right.
He's interested in somebody else. So what are we going to do with that? Okay. Then we have Zack and Irina. And obviously you all know my declaration of love about Zack last episode.
Yeah.
And I want to tell you all that I hold firm. Again, don't care what the public opinion is about this. I love him.
He fell prey to the same thing that Paul did a little bit, which was like the corny lines and the kind of like weird isms and kind of weird pickup lines mixed with kind of like acting strange in the pods. Once he came out, sure. Is he a quirky guy?
Yeah.
Does he kind of have some isms that are a little unique? Sure. Yeah. Does he kind of like do the thing that Irina was saying, which he stares a lot? He kind of smiles at you? Sure. No blame there. But the dude is like balanced, smart, patient.
So patient.
Puts up with a mountain of shit. I mean, the guy was basically berated by insult after hit to his ego for 3 days straight. Let me tell you something.
And there wasn't a defensive. He wasn't like. He wasn't
snapping at her.
If I just meet somebody, like straight up, if I meet somebody and we're sitting together and you're even just immediately telling the server like he has to eat all his food and like, oh, you're lucky to be with me. I mean, we're lucky to be with each other. We just kidding. I mean, like he's getting hit.
How are you? She's like, sometimes I wake up and I wonder like, how's this guy in my bed?
If I'm Zack, I'm like, how could you speak to me like this? You don't even know me.
I'm gone when she says to me that I look like a cartoon character upon first meeting you because I have a story about this. We were at a party one time. Okay. Listen.
Oh, no, not
he told her she looks like Megan Fox.
Yeah, Zack says you look like Megan Fox, and she's like,
one of the most objectively beautiful women in all of entertainment.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
who
I
she
think we
gets
can agree on
compared
that.
to. He goes, he's such a good sport. He goes, later on, he goes, what did you ever figure out what cartoon character I looked at? I was so triggered by this, dude. One time we were at like a party and there was this influencer kid I was talking to, kind of a young, good looking, like, you know, TikTok kid or whatever. I tell him he looks like Leonardo DiCaprio or something. I'm being nice, you know. I'm like sitting there being
he was
like,
a handsome kid. Yeah,
and I'm being super nice. I'm like, let me give you a big compliment. Let me call you like the hottest celebrity in the world. He looks at me, you guys. He looks at me and goes, you know who you look like? And I'm ready for a pretty good compliment. I mean, I just hit him with like a grand slam. He goes, do you know what? Have you ever seen the movie The Polar Express? And I'm like, I have no idea what that is. He goes, it's an animated film. You look like the animated version of Tom Hanks. Okay.
Which when he said that at first, because I hadn't seen Polar Express, I was like, Tom Hanks is a handsome guy.
At first, I'm like, not amazing.
I think Tom Hanks is extremely
but I'll take it because Tom Hanks is kind of a legend, and I'm like, cool. But the animated version, that's strange. You guys, I'm gonna pull this up for you right now. Lee, I'm gonna have Lee put this on the screen. You guys, this is what I look like to this guy. Look at this. It's a conductor hat.
And that's
mustache.
And he doesn't
he's
look like
clearly 60.
He doesn't look like Tom Hanks.
And according to this guy, I look like an animated conductor in his 60s. So when she said to him, you look like a cartoon character, I called my therapist immediately because I was so triggered and so offended on behalf. How dare you? So to Zack, I just want to say, I respect you for your patience because I would have flown off the handle so fast.
So deeply triggered.
I would have been in an Uber 14 seconds after she said that. Okay? I mean, so anyway, just a little bit of a trigger moment there. Hey, Lee, can you turn this off? Like, it's on the screen still. Like, please turn it off. I can't look at this right now. But anyway, whatever. That's my own issue, and I'm working through it. But I'm just saying, like, the cartoon character thing, you guys, don't ever say that to anyone. You don't know what people have been through. Anyway, continue. Sorry. I made it a personal moment for me, but it's just a reminder. You don't know what people are going through.
Zack, though, I mean, it was, listen, I'll say this. I understand that if you're in a situation, like I said before, I would feel very uncomfortable going straight into a bedroom with someone. Irina clearly is not attracted to Zack, okay? Yeah. And like Micah brings up later in the episode, though, it's a little bit like, well, you know, you were down with all of Zack's stuff while he was in the pods, but now all of a sudden, so it's clearly a physical thing. She's not into him physically. I understand, though. If you're not into someone physically, you're not into someone physically. It's okay. And if she was like, I'm not comfortable being like in the same bed with you, I'm not comfortable like doing anything or having you touch me or anything like that, like that's so valid. It's so valid to be like, I'm not comfortable with this, or I need a different bedroom or anything like that. 1,000%. I want to say that
different
because I think that's so important. Yeah. Different plane ticket, different seat.
I think we should sit in different seats.
So valid.
Yes.
What's not okay is the jab after jab after jab, because clearly Zack is the type of person, and she let him know this numerous times throughout these episodes, that he is so respectful of her boundaries. He's so respectful of her boundaries that he's not trying to push the envelope with her or anything like that, and he's listening to her. So he's the type of person that you can feel safe with to be like, hey, I'm not comfortable. And like she said, we're not going to have sex until marriage, and we're doing all these things for you. Yeah, later in the episode she brings up, she's like, well, actually a very physical person, and normally I'm super touchy-feely, but you, I don't want anything to do with. He's then looking at her romantically across the bed with Ralph in between them, and he's like, what are you thinking about? And she's like, that you're a crazy ball.
Dude, if someone calls you a crazy ball, it's over. Just know, okay?
They're still coming back
If
from
someone
crazy
says-
ball.
If someone says you're the person I should be with or you're a crazy ball, run. Don't waste your time. It's over. Here's the thing. There's nothing wrong with the way she feels. It's okay to feel ick. It's okay to feel I'm not attracted to you. It's okay. I'm out of here. All that's cool.
All of
Just
it.
don't destroy someone's soul.
No,
in
do
the
not make them
process.
feel like absolute garbage, because that's what she was doing. She was making this man feel like he was the absolute worst, which everyone was doing too. And I was getting so
Yeah, I don't understand
defensive
why all
of
the
my
women
king.
were like, even Jacqueline was like, "Do not touch me with a 6-foot pole, Zach." And I'm going like,
Like, I
Am I
get
missing
that
something here?
I get that he's an awkward character.
he's an interesting character, but like, dude, I don't know what he did to piss him. It must. You know what I think it was? I think he creeped everyone out in the pods.
Yeah, definitely.
I think it was a pod thing, and then they
Which
all
I
were like, "Well,
understand,
stay away
which
from Zach."
I get it.
But
I get it.
I know Zach.
We
now.
know Zach,
and he's a good guy.
and we love Zach.
I like Zach.
And we see time and time again in these next these 3 episodes that we watched that this man, he wants love.
Yeah.
He wants to show respect. He honors boundaries. When he's having a discussion later with Paul about Bliss, and Paul's like, "So are you going to try to hit Bliss up? You know, are you interested in
Right.
Bliss?" And he's like, "I need to acknowledge the fact that like she should be chosen first." Like he, in all of his uniqueness,
Yeah.
is, I believe, a very wonderful guy. Again, like we talked about before, I think there's therapy, there's work, there's numerous mistakes that are being made, but he tries.
I agree.
And I love him.
I love him too.
I love him so much.
I'll
And
have him on the pod.
we need to try.
I'd love to have Z on the pod.
We got to get Z on the pod.
Yeah.
Maybe he's a Z head.
Ooh. I'm a Z head for him.
We're Z heads for Zach. Zach
we're
and
Zach
Zelda.
heads.
We're Zach heads. I love Zach. Okay. Should we talk the pool party?
Yeah, let's talk pool party.
Let's talk pool party. Because Irina there's a few dynamics going on in the pool party, namely Kwame and Micah, and then we see moments of Paul and Irina.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Let's just talk Paul and Irina.
Okay.
First and foremost. Irina sees Paul and it's off to the races.
Well, she was just telling Micah. She's like, "Oh yeah, we know Paul. It's like so hot." And he's like, "Damn, that guy's fire." And Micah's like, "Okay, chill. Like,
She's
yeah, I'm
like,
just telling you
yeah.
about my situation." Like,
Yeah, understood. I
Yeah.
get he's a good-looking guy, but Irina is going for it.
she's like, "Yeah,
And then we see the flashbacks when Paul is talking later, where she at one point, and I understand there's alcohol involved, people are taking shots, but she moves his foot and like rubs his
boob graze. It's a
against
foot boob graze
her boob.
in front of Micah while he's talking to Micah. Bold.
Okay.
Bold.
So she's trying to shoot her shot with Paul and she doesn't give a shit. I mean, she is saying these things in front of Zach. It's this really awkward, uncomfortable. And then she tells Zach later on during their breakup that she's like, "I've never had a more powerful conversation than the one I had with Paul." Like, it's not about the physical even. It's because I've never felt more, magical and motivated and creative than my conversation with Paul.
And she's like, "I've never had a conversation with you like that ever." I was like, "Oh, damn.
Oh, God.
Chill. I mean, you don't have to kill me to find love.
You can like him, but why do I have to be the sacrificial lamb?
Why does my demise mean you'll find love one day? Like, I'm confused. What did I do to you other than exist? It's like, that's enough for me to hate you.
But Irina and Micah were on one, because before the pool party, Kwame and Chelsea have a conversation, and Kwame lets Chelsea know, which I do appreciate that he did vocalize this and didn't just come out of left field, but he's like, "I do feel like I need to have a conversation with Micah."
Yeah.
Chelsea, very gracious, very understanding. If I was Chelsea, this is a brand new relationship, I'd be like, why do you
Right.
need to? We're all going to see each other. You guys will have a 5-minute convo and we're done. Like, why do you have to have this conversation? I believe, obviously, he is excited to see Micah and was maybe setting himself up for a potential longer conversation by letting Chelsea know, like, I would like to talk to her.
Right.
As soon as Kwame and Micah see each other, she said he's extremely handsome. He clearly thought even though he said, he's like, it wouldn't matter what she looked like. I'm like, you obviously think she's super hot. We can all tell this. And that first conversation, their energy made me feel like maybe they should be together.
Kwame and Micah.
Yeah.
I agree. I really do think that, like, despite the toxicity,
Yeah.
there is a genuine connection there. And the toxicity is kind of a part of it.
Yeah.
Like, they're almost hot for it. They're kind of like, I kind of like the fact that I can't be with you or that I shouldn't be with you.
The foreboding.
It's a little bit exciting. I think he's really excited about it. I think she's torn. I think Paul's like the guys she maybe should be with a little bit. And then she's having more fun with Kwame, though. But I also think she's a little addicted to just having guys like her. And so I think she just likes having Kwame ditch his girl for her. I think he's really, he gets off on that power. I think that Kwame, that's the girl he wanted from the day one. So I think Kwame is like, I love talking to you. Oh shit, in person, I'm very attracted to you. That's why he's so offended when she says, here, cheers to a failed proposal. If you didn't care, you would just be like, well, that was rude. Bye. And then walk away and go hang out with your girl. The fact that he felt like he needed to sit down and confront that's all BS.
Yeah.
He didn't need to confront anything.
No, I think he wanted a longer conversation.
But he also needed to confront the fact that, like, he was so hurt.
Yeah.
And he was so hurt because he likes her.
Right. And
then,
Brett later, by the way, gives some serious wisdom to him where he was like, dude, Chelsea's your girl. You don't have to worry about Micah.
Don't worry about that.
She says that rude thing and you move on. That's the beauty of the fact that Chelsea's your girl. You don't have to worry about Micah.
Exactly.
But he likes Micah.
He likes her a lot. Even to the fact when they got back in the room and he's like, yeah, I don't have some closure or whatever. It's like, the reality is this. If and Chelsea nailed it. She was like, the second you wrapped up the conversation's over.
Yep.
You continued for 25 more minutes, laughing, holding hands, picking at the thing. And my big thing is this. It's just more about the disrespect to Chelsea, where it's like, you guys are both just going totally blindedly flirting and loving on each other in front of both your people, but especially Chelsea, where it's like Chelsea's sitting there getting her own guac.
Oh my God! Not the guac cart scene. Not her going to the guac cart
by
alone.
Herself. And the fact that she wasn't fuming and the fact that she just went on a walk to kind of clear her head, dude. Props to her, because
massive respect
Kwame
to her.
And Micah were disrespecting her so bad by the way that they were talking, and they should have every right to, like, pursue what they want to pursue. But it's like, you need to be at least transparent to Chelsea and be like, hey, like, I need to pursue this and see if this is something worth. I like you a lot, but this is let's make this more of a dating show than like a marriage thing.
And that's the thing. The conversation after when Chelsea confronted Kwame was holding on to the fact that he's like, the conversation was purely about the fact that she said this really rude thing, and I needed to make it clear how I felt about that was really rude. I had to, like, stand up for myself or whatever, and he held to that.
Yes.
I would have been way more like, okay, we're having a transparent conversation. If he would have been like, listen, here's the bottom line. Clearly, there's an intensity, there's a heat between us, and I can't lie to you and say that in person, I wasn't feeling it. And then we can go from there conversation-wise. It's painful, and it's going to hurt Chelsea, but it's going to hurt way more in the long run when you hold on to this. And we did see a little clip again in that little teaser on episode 5 that at some point in the future, Micah and Kwame are having another conversation of like, did you make a mistake?
Totally.
And so this is just getting extended further and further because of this. And this was my, you know me. For me, the Irina, Micah. Okay, so because here's the thing. When Micah was talking to the guys, when she was with Paul and then she was talking to Kwame, and she was like, they made a comment where Micah said to Kwame, like, well, you know, Chelsea can be like a lot. And they both laughed about it. And I was like, I don't like that you're laughing about your girl with your ex. Don't like that. But then she was like, but she's genuine and I'm getting to know her and she's great and da-da-da. There were moments where I was like, okay, Micah seems a little different energy. But then Micah's on the raft with Irina and they've reunited again. They are talking shit and making fun of Chelsea post Kwame early proposing to Micah. And they're like, remember that time when she was like, where's Kwame? And we're like, he just proposed to me. And then they're like, get us shots. And they're just instigating that shit. And I'm like, that for me, I'm like, you got the cartoon trigger. Yeah. That to me was a trigger of watching that, of like, the disrespect of like, you want to feel
Laughing
like
at someone is so brutal.
and also you want to feel like these people that you're having this experience with, yeah, maybe they're not your besties, but are going to maybe have your back and not try to instigate some sort of inappropriate behavior with your current fiance. And then when Micah and Kwame are talking, it isn't just like, hey, this was how we felt. It was very much like, well, I do love you. And all those feelings were real. And again, I know that there was a lot of alcohol involved and everyone was slurring and it was very much intoxicated, but not okay.
I agree.
Not okay.
I agree completely.
And then obviously we end up then having that evening portion where after Chelsea's spoken, Chelsea and Kwame are talking, but everyone else is like, by the bar eating and drinking and whatever. And you see some of the women. It's Jackie and Micah and Tiffany talking. And they're then kind of ragging on Chelsea again too. Like, obviously Micah isn't going to be going after your man. Like, chill out. And Micah's kind of sitting there like, yeah. And that's when I'm going, what is going down?
Yeah.
What is going down? Obviously, Tiffany's like, I don't want to be a part of this. She's trying to like be like, don't include me in this conversation.
I'm the only person not causing shit here.
Like, I'm not. Don't include me. Do not include me. But then, yeah, that's then when Paul and Irina obviously have their little interaction.
Yeah, he's biting her finger and he's saying, "Did you think I was hot?" And she's like, "Yeah, so sexy." And it's like, whoa. And again, I think that it has a lot more to do with the fact that he's probably feeling a little bit more like, I just kind of want some attention. I want to get perspective here. And
I'm questioning Micah.
Questioning my relationship. So I'm kind of just feeling out like, what's going on here? Whereas versus Irina is like straight up like, I will burn my best friend and leave my guy for you right now just because I'm that, first of all, brutal to a friend and then also don't care about this guy and don't care if he like demises his whole life.
Yes. And so, I mean, basically the big things then after that are Kwame and Chelsea have their big conversation, and then they go into the next day where they have the evening get together. So Micah pulls Chelsea aside to have this, conversation about where they're at, and they get rained out, so they don't get closure. Chelsea doesn't get closure, which I'm dead in her ITMs when she goes, I just have to be the baddie bitch that I am, and I don't need closure, by the way. a little dig at Kwame.
Though. She deserved every bit of that, man.
1,000%.
Chelsea needed a moment to like stand on her own 2 feet and let her know, like, you can't push me around, man.
No.
Like, this disrespect is not getting to me. Like,
no.
All I care about is my relationship with Kwame, not you.
Yes.
And I think that's what she made clear.
She made that clear even in those few moments that they had together.
Like, you're not getting in my head.
No, she was so confident in that confrontation. And she was just like, no, it's fine. I understand that like you guys had to have this thing and you said this thing and you probably didn't mean it, but it triggered him in some way. And you could tell Micah was trying to do this whole thing like, yeah, I don't know why it triggered him so much. And Chelsea didn't let her get there. She was just like, no, done. But I'm interested to see whatever this future conversation is with Kwame and Micah, how Chelsea handles that, because I'm like, I'm done 3 days ago.
Yeah.
With you especially, Micah.
The fact that Chelsea hasn't just torn into Micah is wild. So
I know.
The fact that she's just held her tongue this whole time is like, I would have been.
She's focusing on her relationship with her guy.
It's mature. She's very mature.
It's very mature. It's very mature. So, I mean, basically, obviously, there's other like little dates and moments there, but they end up. It all comes to a head when Zack and Irina break up in the bedroom.
I mean, what a battle royale that was.
That was.
It was so crazy too, because like he just goes like she kept one-upping him, so he would just say stuff like, "To be honest with you, it's been pretty horrible," and she goes like, "Yeah, it's like the worst thing ever, and you're the worst, and you're like a weirdo, and you're like a dork," and like she would just consistently take his like little moments of just like victory and destroy him.
She's like, by the way, I'm not going to sit here and tell you all the things that I can't stand about you. Like the fact that you shave everywhere and that you gross me out. Like, I'm not going to say that. Like, dude, just stop. Let him.
I'll be honest with you. She might be the meanest person I've ever seen in reality TV.
It's at the top.
Because most people are mean in a way of like, they're mean to the other contestants to win someone. But she is ruthless.
It's ruthless.
I mean,
it's ruthless.
If I was Zack, the fact that Zack hasn't like questioned his entire, like he seems to be kind of like bulletproof. It's kind of amazing.
Yeah.
Someone treated me like Irina treated me, I'd be battered for like a week. I'd be like, I need to talk to someone to get through this. Cause like,
no, where's the
she
therapist
was
on deck
so
right now?
mean.
And what I liked for Zack in this moment, I wanted this moment to end so much sooner than it did because they just kept talking and
They're
she just kept
laughing
throwing
too. They're
the
like,
jabs.
ha ha ha, like jabbing each
But
other.
he was almost like getting a release. Like he
Yeah.
finally started saying like, it's been fucking horrible. And he finally started saying what's been happening and how he's been feeling.
And I love how they're
And I
brushing
did
their
like-
teeth too as they're doing this. They're like, well, you're a piece of shit.
He's like, yeah, I absolutely hate you. I hate everything
And they're
about
like,
you.
yeah, I know. I would, he goes, honestly, just a day ago, I wanted to leave. And I just, out of respect for you, didn't leave. And then she goes, I wanted to leave you the second I saw you. And they're like, ha 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 ha.
He's like, I've been thinking about Bliss the entire time I've been here.
It was literally like this, ha 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 ha. Like it was literally
And she's just like, literally, I've been dreaming about Paul. I couldn't sleep last night because I just kept thinking about Paul and how amazing and how much better he is than you or how much hotter he is than you are. Yeah.
yeah, ha, ha, ha. It was like, oh my God. Did you guys just become besties?
I'm like, no, honestly, there was a little bit like, are you guys going to be fine
you
now?
guys best
Because
friends now?
Yeah, now like you guys just like the hatred
You guys bonded
boiled.
over to the hatred of each other?
Yeah, you guys hate each other so much that somehow you become friends.
That would be kind of epic.
But that turns into they all end up going back home. They're now in the real world, right? They get their social media
Yeah.
back. They're back at work, which is a wild thing. It's like 23 days until the wedding. But now they're, living in these homes and
Yeah.
like really shacking up together, experiencing real life together, which is so interesting. They get to know each other so much better than the Bachelor people. It's wild.
They're deep.
But we see then Zack meeting up with Bliss.
Oh, it's rough.
It was rough, but
But
listen,
I commend him being like, listen, I made a mistake.
he just looked at her and he goes, I made the wrong decision.
I made the wrong decision, man.
Already his energy was different though with Bliss versus when he met Irina.
Calm.
Much more calm.
I actually, in that moment, I thought about Bliss and I thought, Bliss, I sympathize with you never talking to this guy ever again.
1,000%.
But he made a decision based off of just the pods. You know what I'm saying? Like, I respect both of them. Him going, hey, I made the wrong decision here. I made a mistake. It was really, I was razor thin. And I think if I see you physically,
Yeah.
that is the thing that'll allow me to connect with you in that way.
Mm-hmm.
And I respect Bliss if she says, no, I'll never talk to you again. But I also could understand if I was Bliss to be like, yeah, I do think once you see me in person and we have the energy connection, that could be the game changer.
Sure.
Listen, I mean, I feel like if I went on the show, there's a good chance I would make the right decision.
Sure.
Because you're telling me that like, I have people that like I could talk with for days, but I'd not want to date them.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Or there's people that I've seen that I find very attractive and I'm like attracted to, but like maybe the conversation needed time to develop for me to like actually want to get in a relationship with them.
Yeah.
That wasn't the first thing. So my thing is like, it really does take two parts
But
of
it's
the
also
thing.
but it's also then Bliss understanding because he knows they both know this. They both know he made the wrong decision.
Absolutely.
And so she is knowing in the back of her mind, like this guy chose the toxic girl. So I have to now process that knowing that is this habitual for
Exactly.
him? So I don't know.
I don't think there's any pressure on her to make a choice
Now,
for him. But I'm just saying I could understand how it could still work.
I will tell you this. I have hope because they do keep showing him.
Yeah.
So I do have hope that maybe they start seeing each other.
Maybe.
I'm crossing my fingers. I want them to fall in love and get married so badly.
Agreed.
And I have hope because they keep showing Zack. And I feel like typically they don't keep showing someone unless we're going to get more of a story from him, unless he blows it or something and it's brutal. But the one thing I wanted to say with Zack and Bliss's conversation was my favorite moment, because it was so pure. It was so pure. Is when he looked at her and he goes, can I ask you a question? Do I make too much do you think I make too much eye
so
contact?
honest.
And then she goes, no, why? Am I looking away too much? She's like, sometimes I can look away a lot. And it was like my heart shattered in a million pieces and melted on the floor that it was like,
He's like, can I ask you a question? Do I look like a cartoon character? She's like, what are you talking about? He's like, I knew we had a connection. He's like, I've just been so battered over the last 3 days. He's like, I got to ask you a question. Do I creep you out? And does my existence make you recoil in fear? And do you hate me in my soul? No? Whoa, we might have a connection here.
For real though, but it's like that moment was so like, you know, to some, for some people, like not everyone's for everybody. And for him, it was like this person was terrified by my eye contact and hated me for it. And her pure response when he asked that, she wasn't even like, no, you're fine. She literally goes, no, why am I looking away too much? And it was this moment of like, oh, yeah, that's your person, you guys.
My work.
I have a lot of hope for it.
I do too. I hope that if she decides to give him a chance, that it's worth it.
Me too.
You know what I mean?
Me too. So the other things that we saw in that 6th episode was then Micah telling Paul about the whole Irina situation. It was interesting because at this point, Paul had mentioned in like a passing comment to Micah about the knew that he can question things. Yeah. And he mentioned Zack and he's like, yeah, I felt how Zack's felt and didn't follow up with that. So I get that Micah's maybe processing, but then she brings up Irina and shares that with Paul. And that was an interesting dynamic to me because then she started kind of asking Paul like, or saying to Paul, you know, now it's making me question if what we have, like, is this real? Yeah. And I'm a little bit like, I mean, granted, was Paul biting Irina's hand? A little bit. She didn't see that though. Right. So I'm like, this doesn't have anything to do with Paul. Like, Irina is your shady friend, but like that shouldn't have anything to do with Paul, right? I mean, the questioning their relationship because of Irina, Paul's a little bit like,
unless it was the comment about Amber and whether he made the right decision.
Yeah, I think that might. Yeah, sure. Who
knows? But there might be more.
Maybe she thinks he was referring to Irina because he didn't say Amber to her. He just said that I felt how Zack made the right decision. Yeah, how Zack has felt. But then Micah met with Irina, and that was just like, worst case scenario. That conversation went so bad. It was so weird. Like Irina's so blunt that like she literally just says like, you're right, it was sketchy that I flirted with your guy in front of you, and you know I don't want that to be the case, but like, you know, I would. And she's like, well, it'd be awkward if like, you know, did you get drunk? If you got drunk and we were all hanging out and you started hitting on Paul. And she goes, I don't think I'd ever make a move on Paul. And if he wanted to make a move, does he want to make a move on me? It was like, what? She said something. She's like, yeah, like, I don't think I ever would. And if that was the case, I'd be like, okay, Paul, let's sit down. And I'm like, so you like, just told your friend that if he offered it, you'd be okay with it.
I would hook up with your boyfriend if he was down.
That's is right after Micah said, hey, should I be concerned that you're going to be flirting with my husband? And she's like, well, is Paul?
And Micah even said, hey, I was your lifeline to all the girls in there.
She said, no one wanted to talk to you.
No one likes you. You're the worst. And I was the one that vouched for you. And she goes, yeah, totally. But if your guy wants to hook up, like, I'm doing it. Now she's not even lying to her best friend to at least give her like a false sense of confidence. She's just blatantly saying, I will hook up with your boyfriend if I feel like it.
Your fiance.
And I just want to let you know that. But like, girl, you were having fun together, right? And then like,
hey,
Micah,
you crazy bitch.
Yeah. Hey, and like Irina literally laughed 3 or 4 times and Micah didn't even crack a smile.
No.
Dude.
I couldn't believe that that's how that conversation went down.
I hope that she like gets some therapy and figures this out. But that is one of the most untrustworthy people I've ever seen. No,
and I thought that when she was going to sit down with Micah, she was going to be putting on a little bit of a facade, which I don't think it's good to lie.
I thought it was going to be like, her all the life.
I thought it was going to be like, oh, I'm sorry, I was caught up, and yeah, obviously I think he's cute, but you know, I'm so sorry. Like that was so not okay of me, and end it there, not be like, well, I mean, Paul hasn't tried to like contact me yet.
Insane.
It's like, but make no mistake, if he does slide into my DMs, I will be responding and meeting up to get that espresso martini together.
Insane. Wow. Well,
unbelievable.
Now she's gone, but it's like that. I mean, what an arc. Is she though? What an arc. I mean, I don't know how she comes back, but
you never know. You never know.
Her and Paul, holy shit.
But okay, so I mean, after that, there was just obviously Tiffany and Brett. They met the friends.
Yeah.
And it couldn't have gone
Friends,
better.
the whole thing, yeah.
The friends were literally like, we worship her.
Yeah.
She is our queen.
Best endorsement ever.
We adore her. It's like, you know, the friends are very much like, we will give her away. And I was like, wow, these friends are a little bit like, Tiffany's like, you guys, I'm my own person here a little bit.
You're not going to walk me down the aisle.
But when you see friends who love someone so much and who are so an amazing representation, and Brett just knocked it out of the park.
Yeah.
I mean, there's been no hiccups. There's been no hiccups. And then Paul and Micah were intimate. Mm-hmm. They were playing footsie the next day. Mm-hmm. It seemed to go well. She said that he was moaning extremely loudly, which he was like, oh, sorry.
Brutal to expose his sexual proclivities a little bit, but whatever.
His bedroom habits.
And she was like, stop doing that. I was like, okay.
And then, like you said earlier with the Kwame Chelsea situation, it's just getting getting more and more rough. It's bubbling to the surface.
He's already checked out.
It's just
it's not looking good for everyone except for Tiffany and Brett. So.
Tiffany and Brett are gonna get married, and
everyone else is gonna break up.
I mean, I think so.
Maybe Micah and Paul may get maybe. Everyone else is gone.
I think everyone else is broken up for sure. Yeah, no way.
I'm loving this. This is fun.
I cannot wait to see like the meeting of all the families. This is where it starts to get, I think, pretty
I think the pressure
intense.
will mount, and it will put everyone through the major ringer.
I think the next few episodes are going to be so explosive because, like you said, I think the only people making it are going to be Tiffany and Brett. 100%. And so I think it will be explosive.
I think it will be brutal.
It's going to be rough. And I think we're going to have numerous people get to the altar, and it's going to be like
if they get there,
day of
they will
destruction.
Crumble. I agree.
And then we're going to get a live reunion.
I think it's going to be popping.
I can't wait.
I can't wait.
Well, obviously, next Wednesday, tune in. We'll be going over episodes 7 through 9. Unless, of course, one of them has too much crazy, info that, again, we'll let y'all know. And tune in Friday for
our second episode.
Our start of our second episode every other week. Let's do a call home.
Let's do it. We would never without.
We would never.
Remember, you can always call home.
Hi, Mom and Dad. Loving the new pod and loving Lee's gorgeous voice as well.
Yes, Lee.
I'm just calling home because I need some advice on a situation. I recently started seeing this guy, and we had been friends before for a while. And so I knew he was really close with his family. But come to find out that he actually lives across the hall from his parents. Like, you can stand in the middle of the hall, reach out, and touch both of their doors.
Okay.
I feel really weird about this, but I don't know how to approach the situation with him. Because it's quite an effort to move house, obviously.
Right.
But also we've only been on a couple of dates, so I don't know how to say, hey, I feel weird that your parents can look through the people and see who's coming home to your apartment.
Yeah.
And that your parents obviously have a key, so they can just unlock the door and walk in at any time. Yeah, so I just need some advice on this weird situation. And then I also wanted to mention I'm from Canada, and I have a proposition for Evan's Z heads. In Canada, we say Zed, and it just kind of has a better ring. The Zed heads for his little Zelda love. All right. Love you guys.
I do like the Zed heads.
Zed head works better. I agree with you 100%. When we do a Zelda tour to our northern neighbors, we will...
like, have you already trademarked Z head?
Yeah, it's going to be Zed heads for sure. So we do Z heads in America, Zed heads in Canada. Much love.
Okay, first of all, they have a key. I need.
Why do they have a key?
The key needs to get burned.
Weird.
Put the key in the fire. Burn it. They should not have a key. That feels a little much to me. Unless he's got pets that sometimes maybe he's got a kitty that they help him sometimes if he's gone with the litter box or something, or check on the kitty cat. Okay. My initial feelings about this are, because it's only been a few dates, I would just this is all now up to you. I would go, is this a deal breaker? Because if you keep seeing him and you keep liking him more and more, and then all of a sudden you're stuck in the situation where you're like, now we're having to have this big conversation. Your parents are popping in all the time. Okay, well then, maybe at that point it's worth it because you've gotten into this like longer term thing with him and that's more of a conversation. Or are you like, there's no way I'm ever going to be okay with that and cut it off now?
Yeah.
Because I don't know if a few dates in I think you could have the conversation casually, but it's still early on to be like, why do your parents live across from you? Does that make sense?
100%. My advice is don't try and change him. Too much work. Like if this was like a 5-year relationship and you're trying to like work some shit out, sure. If you're a couple dates in, you got to be okay with this. This guy's clearly very close with his parents. You don't want to be the wedge between him and his parents, because then you'll always be the one that they hold responsible for making their son not close to him. I am just like, if you're not cool with this arrangement, I wouldn't put too much more effort into it, because there's a long road ahead of you with a lot of ups and downs, and it most likely will be difficult and maybe end because he's had his parents his whole life, and if he's that close to them, you got to just be down with it, or you're going to be in a battle.
That's the thing. I think,
I'm not trying to be dark, but I'm just like, we've seen it a million times. We have friends, all this stuff. It's like this kind of stuff. It's going to be tough. It's going to be really tough.
Yeah, I think it's that deal breaker thing where if you're like, I'm not going to ever be okay with this, then I would get out now.
Yes.
And if you're like, you know what, I could make this work, then, listen, maybe it might be one of those things that you continue to date him, and best case scenario is it was a situation of convenience for him and price, and his parents aren't coming over all the time, and they're not peeping in, and they're not showing up inside the apartment all the time, and they give him space.
And he's telling you, oh, I know it's a nightmare. I can't believe I live next to them.
Exactly.
Can't wait to move, but it's just like a situation right now, blah, blah, blah. That's different. But if he's like, I love my mom and dad, yeah, they're coming over for dinner again for the 7th time. That's when you know, like, you either got to just be happy that you're a part of their family or be done. But you can't try to change that. It's going to be a nightmare.
Yeah, and I think, too, something to think about is that, like, if you're like, no, I don't want to cut it off at this moment. I mean, you could bring it up, but you could just bring it up in a way that's like, oh, yeah, so your mom and dad, like, how do you feel about that?
Right.
And just pose it as a question, not be like, so are you planning on leaving anytime soon, or like kind of seeing like if he's like kind of pushing him towards like, you don't like this, right? But just simply asking like, how do you feel about that? Because his response might be like Evan said, oh my God, I know it's a nightmare. My plan is like in the next year or two to get out. It's making me crazy. And then you'll get that energy and you'll be like, okay, maybe we're on the same page. Or he could be like, I know, isn't it amazing they come over every day? And then you're like, okay, well, that's not going to be what I'm looking for.
So either join the family or don't. Or if he's down, but yeah, I agree with you, babe.
Yeah, because if it's not something that you're going to be into, battle. And then all of a sudden you fall in love with this guy and mom and dad are knocking on the door every day when you guys are trying to have your Zelda time alone, and they're always knocking, it's going to make you bananas.
You don't want your relationship to be like a battle either. Like this. You want to be relaxed and having a good time in growing. So
yeah,
we love you.
Love you so much. Good luck. Thank you, my love.
I love you, baby.
For pushing through your hangover.
Oh my gosh, hangover. This is what we do. We're rock stars. You know what I mean? We push through. We don't let it pull us down. But we'll see you guys Friday.
Yes, I can't wait.
We'll see you in a couple days. I'm very excited. With much love. Mwah, mwah, mwah.
Love
Family
you.
forever.
Family forever.
And Z-heads. Family. Everything.
Water. Oat milk.
Oat milk. We're in this together, baby. Rock and roll.
Love you all.
Bye.
Bye.